Yeah.
And you want to kind of bring it low just so it's not blocking your face. And then point it up. Like this will rotate too. You can just put it right.
It's not blocking my...
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Claim your space.
I'm
Look,
a
I like it.
fidgeter.
You're spreading out. You're really getting into it.
I'm a fidgeter. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Is that like in general? Like, is it like sitting still is always hard?
I don't... Yeah, so to the point where when I'm on a plane, I have a stopwatch I bought just for this reason. I set it for 25 minutes. It goes off, and it tells me to get up and move around. So every 25 minutes I'm on a flight,
You're standing up and walking.
I'm standing up, and I'm alerting everybody that because it goes real loud.
Why are you that guy? Why are you?
Because I am. To claim, didn't you just say claim my space?
I mean, you are claiming your space.
I'm taking up all. I'm that guy.
And what gave you the confidence to think you should be doing that?
I don't have confidence. It's just.
Well,
I just need it. So my need to move and get up supersedes my fear of self-consciousness or.
But couldn't it do it silently and just vibrate on your hand like mine does?
I have a watch that vibrates, but it doesn't count my steps. This one counts my steps.
Okay.
But it doesn't vibrate, but it makes the noise.
So some poor guy that's trying to sleep on that flight every 25 minutes.
Screw that guy. Yeah. Screw that guy.
Leo's got to get
alert,
up,
man. Hey, why would you be? Here's my thing. Why are you even falling asleep on a flight, man?
Because you have no control over what's going to happen. There are dangers that lurk. There are people who are trying to listen. You got to stay awake. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if anybody's going to go crazy or if we're going to need you for something. I've seen, like, if you're sitting in an exit row, especially. Yeah. What are you doing asleep? You're in like you have. Yeah, but you can't exit at 36,000 feet. We're gonna need you if we put this thing down somewhere. Then we need the exit row. Yeah, and we need you alert. We don't need you like. Trust me, when the airplane's dropping thousands of feet per minute because there's a serious issue, and then they're trying to crash land into the ocean or a cornfield, you're gonna become very alert. Not true. I heard Joe Coy tell a story of. And you don't when you're comics on stage, you don't know how true everything is. Right. But I could definitely see this. He was talking about how the plane was going through turbulence for like an hour, and he never woke up. He didn't wake up until after the disaster, like after people were like screaming, like people were screaming and yelling and all this stuff. There are people who can just sleep through. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I've fallen asleep at rock concerts before. Like when I'm tired. Yeah, and it was so funny. I was at a bar, right, and it wasn't a rock concert, like an outdoor Woodstocky thing. We were at a bar, and his band was just jamming out. It was so loud, and but I was so tired. I just put my head down and fell asleep right there. And the bouncer kept thinking I was drunk. Right, he was like, "You had you can't sleep here. You gotta go. You gotta go." But you're like, I'm just napping. I just need a little nappy poo, So I'm like a 9-year-old, bro. Like when I'm ready to sleep, I sleep. See, that's like I'm always impressed. I have friends that can just push through. Like I have friends that are like, oh, I got to get somewhere. I'll drive for 30 hours straight, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. I cannot push through. You can if you get into an argument. I've had this, but me and Siddiqui Fuller, rest in peace, very funny comedian, passed away, young guy. Passed away in his sleep. It was such so he could sleep through anything. He could literally sleep through anything, right? Even when death is knocking, and he's like, "Nah, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm not waking up for you, death." Me and him, we drove. We did a Tribble run. I don't know if you know what I've heard of the Tribble runs. Up north, it's like a circle of yeah. It's like, so if you don't know what a Tribble run is, it's a bunch of these small. This is a guy, David Tribble, who like contracted with a bunch of bars along like the West Coast, like from between California up through Washington. Yeah. And it's all in these really remote places. Like when you pull into these bars, you're like, am I gonna make it out the bar? Like, you know, like it's like that. and like to the point where like the GPS really can't help you, and you need like maps and stuff like that. So anyway, and they're low paying, but you know, he's like but you can work every night. Like he has it strung up so you can perform every night. Anyway, so me and Siddiqui were doing this Tribble run, and on the way back, we stopped to get gas, and we get into this big argument about something to the point where we're about to go to blows. And we were exhausted. What could this even be about? I forget. I mean, you know,
isn't that young. Weird? You can't even remember what it's.
48. I was like 28 at the time. I mean, what do young guys fight about? So we don't get to that point, but we were on the verge, and we were both tired, right? We were both like, all right, I'll drive for 5, you drive for 5, that kind of tired. After that argument, he drove the entire way home.
Just to get the fuck away from you sooner.
Yeah. He was like, I'm surprised he didn't leave me at the gas station. I mean, it was really because it was his car. He could have easily been like.
Now you guys were really close.
No, we were boys. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like fight. Like what the hell? Like that's the funniest part. Is like you're like I don't even know.
But that's the thing is like, you know, the closer you are, the more fights you get into. Like my college roommate, me and him fought all the time. And when I say fought, I don't mean black eye fight, break jaw, kind of thing. Like just wrestling to the ground, and then like, are you good? Like, like,
are we good? Is this over?
Good? Yeah. Are we done?
Do you want to go? Can we go get lunch now?
Yeah, exactly. Not like trying to hurt or harm each other.
Yeah, like brothers. That's brotherly. Like, we can't actually hurt each other because then mom's gonna be really pissed.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna punch you, but I'm gonna hold you down like I'm about to.
Right. Okay. It's like once I got you. Like it's and so like, but you wouldn't do that with strangers. Like with strangers, it's a fight. Like now it's like you gotta die, right? But if it's your boy, you're just like, I'm just trying to subdue you, and so we can carry on.
I'm still claiming dominance.
Yes,
I'm still trying to claim dominance here, but
yeah.
So you're saying after that you just power through. Well, I mean, if adrenaline's running and things like that, I get that. You can stay power through.
But then he probably went home and slept for like 20 hours.
Right.
It's that kind of thing where you.
Yeah, which I can't do that either. I hear about people like, oh man, I just had like a really crazy weekend, or I had all this work to do in this project, and I was working late, and on Saturday I just slept for like 18 hours. I'm like, that's never happened to me once.
You've never slept like had like that long run past 9? Have you gotten past 9?
Barely. If I hit anything over 10, I'm shocked, and that's like my entire life.
Are you a light sleeper? You one of those?
You know what's weird? No, I just like this morning. I have this weird thing where like I wake up 30 seconds before my alarm goes off, and it's like today was different. Usually my alarm is 6:15 for waking my kiddo up and taking her to school. Literally at 6:45, I'm like, it's probably time to get up. My alarm, like it's really weird.
Wait,
so
now
like,
what was the smell what was that sniff? Do you have to smell?
Oh no, I think that was just me like waking up, like taking a breath in the morning, like eyes open.
I thought you had like synesthesia or something like that, like where you can like smell time. You know how people
that's
can,
a thing.
Yeah, where people can smell time. They can see sound.
That I've heard of. That comes with like perfect pitch and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
So basically like synesthesia is like where your senses get crossed. So like you can taste words, you can see sounds, you can
I've heard people
smell.
talk about like people with perfect pitch talk about how like, oh, if that's a C, I like in my brain, it literally when I hear a C, there's like an explosion of like purple. Like, and I can, so when you play something, if somebody's like, oh, they're going to play this chord, I literally see like fireworks in my head of like purple, yellow, orange. And I'm like, oh, that's a C sharp minor, which isn't a thing. Sorry.
No.
C7 minor or whatever. Yeah. It's a C sharp flat minor X chord. But no, that's what, and so that's fat. And I hear that stuff and I'm like, I want that. I want to see in color.
But see, I think that we all have our thing where I hear stories. When people talk, I think about stories. I think about beginning, middle, end. I think about what happened before. I think about what happened after.
Are you also criticizing in your head only like how to make this a better story? Because most people aren't very good storytellers. Is there some like this could be a great story?
I don't know if I necessarily criticize the story, but I do think about how I would add to the story, which is why I like walking out on movies now.
You walk out?
Oh man,
you don't finish movies?
No, I finish it in my head.
It's a much better movie.
It's a much better.
Is that, I don't know if that's ego
hundreds
or
of millions of dollars went into a production, and Leo's like, "How much time is left? 20 minutes? I got it. I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up on the way home."
Yes.
Are you serious?
I love that.
How often do you do this?
I mean, I do it when I've lost interest in a movie, and
Okay.
But so here's the thing. It sounds more pretentious than it is. I've realized that sometimes when I go to a movie, especially a matinee, I don't need to see the whole movie. I just need like a 30-minute distraction, a hour change up in my day.
Yeah.
I just need like a little dab, a little taste. Yeah, a little. You know how people do wine tastings? I do movie tastings. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I just need to taste a little movie, and then I'll come back and watch the full thing later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
At the theater, or you mean like later down the road at home, whatever?
I might go to the theater. I might see it. You know, right now, like I travel so much, I almost don't go to the movies as much because I'm like, I'll see it on a plane. Like the planes get it.
Planes get it.
Planes get them quick, bro.
Yeah, they do.
They got movies in the theater on the plane.
Yeah. It's funny. I found that, and this is probably new in the last year, where there'll be nights where like I tuck my kid in, I just want to like settle. But I'm like, you're sitting there and you got Netflix or whatever, and I'll find myself, I'm like, I want to watch something, but in my mind, I'm like, how long is that? An hour 50? That seems too long. That's 2 hours. That's an hour 30, whatever. And then I'll be like, you know what? I'll sit here and I'll watch trailers for movies I've never seen, or even ones that I've seen, but like way long time ago. And I'll watch an hour of trailers and be like, I'm good. And I'm like, I feel like I watched 20 movies.
Yeah.
Because like you're kind of giving me the story.
Absolutely. I love a trailer. Only thing I don't like about watching trailers, it gets me excited and then it just drops me off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I like Den of Thieves 2 is about to come out. And
Den of Thieves 2.
Did you see Den of Thieves, the first one?
I have not. Is this based on a game?
No. It's a heist movie. I love a heist movie.
All right.
My sound keeps cutting in. I don't know.
That's the connection to your left. Yeah.
And the first one was so amazing. It's so rare that you get a really great heist movie where not only do you love the heist itself, like how they pulled it off, but you love the team that's assembled.
Technically the bad guys.
It depends on how you're looking at
what they're
it,
heisting.
Right. To me, everybody's a bad guy and a good guy. I feel like they're all just people, right? Because, okay, you could say that the guys who are stealing the money from the banks, they're the bad guys because they're stealing from the banks. But then how do the banks?
We all agree the banks are the bad guys.
Yeah. Come on, man. I mean, if we read about the Rothschilds and I don't want to get into all the history of that, but it's like the money's dirty, bro. Like it no matter who has it or how it got there. Like we're all like evading taxes, or should I have said that out loud?
No, we're utilizing the tax code.
Yes,
it's very
that's
different.
Right. That's absolutely,
very different.
Absolutely. I'm doing my due diligence, right?
Yeah.
But I love a heist movie, and so it's rare that you actually love the heist and you love the team assembled. And then you love the outcome of it all. Like those are three specific things that like a great heist movie has to know. I think that's why Heat was so great. I don't know if you saw Heat.
I remember. I was young. It was younger, but yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Do you like Ocean's 11? Like, do you consider
Ocean's 11? All were great.
Yeah.
Just the style, the dialogue.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like you want, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You were rooting for them.
You were rooting for them. Like I want to root for them. And you also you cared about them.
Yeah.
That's tough to pull off. Like they create characters. Not only are you rooting for the heist, but you care for them as people and like what happens to them. And you're like, what's their backstory? Like you're curious.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Like I think that was something. I was young when the first Ocean's 11 came out. I was in high school or maybe just college, and Matt Damon's character, who was like the young kid trying to like go out and not use his parents' name and like be his like prove himself, and it was like yeah, give him a chance. Yeah, he can do it. And everyone's kind of like you're a kid, and then in the end, but they gave him the chance to like prove himself.
Is that how you felt growing up? Like put me in, coach. Like I can do this.
Yeah.
And people were like, scram, kid. Did you get that?
Because I was the youngest of three, so I was, and now looking back, I can see that like it's funny. I had this conversation like a week ago. The youngest kid always gets told he can't do something. I think that's how every youngest kid feels. Like, no, my whole life, all I was told is you can't do that. You're not big enough. You can't do that. The reason why you're even in the situation to be told that is because your older siblings can't. Because they're 2 years older and they can get on the go-kart. They can go on the horseback riding because they don't take 6-year-olds, but they take 8-year-olds, you know? And so you're in more situations where somebody right next to you is allowed to. And you want to because you're like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And they're like, you're not big enough. You're not old enough. You can't do it yet. You can't do it yet. Yet, at the same time, because you're in those positions, I realize compared to other kids that were my age, I also got to do way more stuff earlier than my peers because I was in situations where my parents were like, you can do it too? Okay, yeah, go do it. Like, go, I guess they will let you ride the go-kart. You can go ahead, go do it. Like, I'm like, if the other two are doing it, like, I don't want to sit here, like, go, you know? So it's this double-edged sword where you feel like you're told all the time, you're not big enough, you're not old enough, you're not allowed to do something. Yet when you really pull out and look at the big picture, you actually got exposed to and got to do way more than most kids your age, size, whatever.
I like that you use pull out versus zoom out.
Why is that? What's the differentiation?
Well, when I think about pulling out, I think, physical
sex
activities. When I think about zooming out, I think about perspective.
Yeah.
And
but you like that I said pulling out.
But you use pulling out.
Let's pull out.
Yeah. It's like I was listening to a pod. You ever watch the movie Fight Club?
Oh, yeah.
And so the director of that, the writer of that, he was on a podcast, and I think he was talking to Joe. I think it was Joe Rogan or whoever he was talking to, but he was noticing how they used a lot of physical, explosive words. So it made me start recognizing like how people reference activities. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you say pulling out versus zooming out? Versus stepping back, versus getting some altitude,
right?
Like there's just so many different ways of how people perceive the world, and it is like it's a glimpse of how they interact with the world on some level. So, you know.
Okay, so we're diving in because you have a psychology background.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you should probably tell people. Yeah, because.
Well, like, hey man, or you're just an interesting person.
Because we'll be like, people are like, why is he dissecting? It's just like how my brain works.
Right. Yeah, which probably makes you a good, because you are.
It makes me a little annoying.
You're
also.
an action, buddy. We all have our things. We all have our things. So what exactly are you? Because I know Leo Flowers is talented comedian and kind person, but what are you like? What?
I guess I view myself as a bridge. I just want to be a bridge. I want to be a space for people on both sides to be able to communicate, to connect, to harmonize. I want to be a vehicle for transmitting ideas and humor and joy and understanding. I just want to, I just see myself as a bridge. Like I like to, that's why I love to travel, so I can understand the different sides and see how I can bridge the different cultures and ideas together, or at least help people find that common ground.
Do you, this sounds weird, but I have a point. Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister, 4 years younger, and then I have two older sisters who I didn't meet until my dad's funeral.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't grow up with them.
So you didn't grow up with them?
No.
So now that feeling of being a bridge, is that something you feel like you're compelled to be? Like, is that in you naturally, or is that something you learn through the schooling and stuff?
I feel like that's the way I've always been. I feel like people from when I was very young, people have come to me for advice.
They could always talk. You were a person that people just started telling me stuff.
Right. And I think part of it is, one, I've always had this voice.
Which is calming, yeah. And I think we have
right?
similar, like, kind of deeper, soothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I never went through that. Hey, how's it going? Like I never went through puberty.
So like all the girls in 5th grade were like, why is his voice?
Right. Yeah.
You're on the phone calling her. Hey, what's up, Cassandra?
Oh man, 2-hour phone conversations back in the day. All night.
Buddy, I was the king of the after school phone calls. Oh my God. Calling at a certain hour so she'd pick up on the first ring because we had it timed out.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best. Oh, I miss those days.
I do too.
It's so hard to get someone. Now I have to text and say, "Hey, are you available to talk now?" Or even actually, with most of my friends, I have to schedule the phone call. Like to just call somebody randomly is like,
you're like people are like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I have a life.
Is something wrong?
Yeah. So I miss a 90. Well, 2 hours is too long.
2 hours is a long time.
But 90 minutes. I'm a time person. I'm kind of clearly. So I have.
Do you have to in 20 minutes? Is that thing going to go off and you're going to walk around?
No. But I have three times when I'm socially interacting or conversing. I have 2 minutes, 20 minutes, or I have 90 minutes. So like when
this covers all your interactions for the most part. 90% of your interactions
for the most part. So like if somebody goes, they want to talk on the phone or usually like just collegially, I'll be like, do you want to be a 2-minute or a 20-minute conversation?
You'll actually ask.
Yeah,
you'll set a precedent. You'll be like, hey,
very specific. Yes, I'm very specific because what I find is one. It allows us to get to the point very quickly, and we don't spend a lot of time like, hey, what are you doing? How was your day?
None of that shit matters. I'm really on the phone because I need to ask you something real.
There's a purpose.
Yeah.
There's a focus. Because listen, as a guy, I'm mission oriented. I love a mission. Give me a mission. Give me
a problem to solve.
Give me a 0 dark 30. I want to get in and out in 8 seconds. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is why I like single box stores, like
what's
a Best Buy.
Oh, okay.
Or a destination store, Home Depot, Best Buy, IKEA, where you know what I'm here for. I'm here for furniture. I'm here for electronics.
Right.
I don't like a Walmart because Walmart distracts from the mission. There's too much. There's too much happening.
I need a lamp store.
I need a lamp store. I need a light store.
Yeah.
Because then people go, oh, that guy knows what he wants. In Walmart, I'm like, it's stimulation overload.
Yeah.
So anyway,
because Walmart's built on maybe you want this, maybe you want this, maybe you want this, maybe you want this.
And then you get to the checkout and there's all these snacks and everything's so colorful and bright.
And you're like, I came here for light bulbs and I'm spending $150 on shit I didn't need. Yeah.
And so, I like 2 minutes or 20 minutes.
I like that.
And 90 minutes is like last night I went out. I go to this thing called Toastmasters.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I go Wednesdays and Thursdays. And afterwards, so Toastmasters is a place where you learn to speak publicly, right? So I just went because I just moved to San Diego and it was a way for me to tap into a community of people. But also I figured like I love to hear stories, and the stories that people share in Toastmasters, every night I come home and I tell my girl, like, you wouldn't believe what this person talked about tonight. So, but afterwards we go out to a bar or a restaurant to hang out, and I set my timer for 90 minutes. So anytime I'm at a social gathering,
90 minutes, you're out.
Because after 90 minutes, I'm bored. I need to, and I start saying.
Just a change of scenery?
Just a change of scenery. I'll start saying stuff just out of boredom. I'm not a good person after 90 minutes. Just honest.
And it's just because like also like your boredom sets in and you're like, the only way I'm gonna
turns into anger, or
and so you start stirring the pot.
So I just start stirring the pot. For 90 minutes, I can be amicable. I can be pleasant. After 90 minutes, I'm not responsible for what happened.
Which is why you clearly set your own boundary and be like, guys, no, I need to go.
Yes.
For the success of this party and this social occasion and your marriage, I need to leave this wedding. Because yeah, it's we're hitting 90 minutes. We got to go.
And you said the thing. I just heard this on a podcast because, everybody talks about boundaries and setting boundaries. And I heard the best definition of a boundary. It was on the Huberman podcast. And the lady said, a boundary is what you're going to do, not what you want the other person to do. Usually when we set a boundary, we think setting a boundary is don't do that.
Yeah,
don't say
it's
that.
like a wall that no, you should stop here.
Right,
it's like,
right.
No.
You're asking them to do something like you don't control them. Like that's ridiculous.
Right.
The boundary is saying if you say this or if you do that, I'm going to do this.
Right. If you cross this wall,
yes, this
now
is what
I'm going to
gonna
react.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love that definition of it. So I'm like at 90 minutes, I'm setting the boundary.
I gotta go.
Gotta go.
Now, what does your lady feel about that?
She's on board
because she's like, yeah, this is better.
She loves it because she's a schedule person. Wow. She loves to be in bed at 9, right? And so usually, like, if we're out with friends, me being like,
she's like, yeah,
it gets me in bed by 9.
Now, what about if you're out doing shows and stuff? Like if you. Like she's still doing her thing and that's fine. And there's no expectation of you to like to come home and come straight to bed or anything like.
You know what? Early in a relationship there was, and now we're past that. So you bring up a good thing, a good point where we've been together for 5 years.
Yeah.
And what I found is the things that bothered us in the beginning no longer bother us. The things we were fighting about, we were having arguments about, our frustrations, other things. Because I think part of it is you have an expectation in the beginning of what the relationship is and what your needs are and what your wants are.
Right, you're filling in blocks because you haven't gotten to those things yet. Like you're thinking this is what it's going to be like.
Exactly.
And we're all on our best behavior a little.
Right. And you don't know to what level you can trust the other person, right? Because
to accept you,
and so, but now 5 years in, we're not. It's not a thing. Like she understands me now.
Yeah,
and I think with time you understand each other. Oh, that's why you do that. Because based off my experiences when you were first doing that. This is my interpretation.
And it annoyed the shit out
of me. But now that I understand you better, it doesn't annoy me because I understand why you do that.
Yeah. I had a very understanding partner for a while. She worked in the mental health space. And it was interesting because she would be like, she would just see me or we'd be, I hit points in social situations where I just get overstimulated. And I literally we got to the point and I loved it because I could just look at her and go, I'm going to take a lap. And she was like, got it. And she just knew, like, I just get to this weird stimulation point where I'm just like we're at a loud bar. There's noises, there's people that's talking. And like, I'm a social person, but I'm not. Like, I can handle it. I think I put on a very good show, but that's the thing is like a lot of the times, like I'm performing this social interaction when the truth is like, this is all too much. And now I've learned to like, that's like, you don't have to be on. You don't have to. And I think comedy really helped me with that. Once I started performing on stage, I stopped performing every day.
Wow.
Because I feel like I think I told a friend recently about this, but like I realized once I started comedy, and I realized that when I went home and visited friends, I was probably like a year and a half into comedy. I went home back to my hometown and visited some of my closest friends from childhood. And I was there for like a weekend and we had a good time. I had a great time. I'd never felt like more comfortable being home and hanging out with my friends. And then I left and I got a call from my brother. One of them called my brother and was like, what's wrong with James? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought like he's a comedian now. Like he used to be like the funniest kid in our group. Like he used to just be hilarious and hanging out and like wild and big and da-da-da-da. And now like he was just quiet and he was just kind of like sitting around like he wasn't funny. Like I thought he'd be funnier. And my brother's like, hey, your friends are worried about him. My brother didn't understand it either. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, I had the best time. And then I really thought about it and I realized like, my entire childhood, the only thing I thought I brought to the table was humor. I was performing for my closest friends all the time. And what I realized, like, until I started comedy, like for the first 30 years of my life, I was just waiting for the light. You know, I was waiting for somebody to say like, you're done. You can get off stage now. But now that I'm on stage and I perform for hundreds of people every night, I got home and I was like, I don't have to perform for you assholes. You just, like, I get it. You love me. Like, I don't have to be on. Meanwhile, in their head, they're like, what's wrong? Is he depressed? Like, he's not. So that was really an interesting thing to realize how much of my social was like, I was just performing this thing because I was insecure, low self-esteem. I thought that's what I brought to the table. That was what's expected of me. And then now I'm like, oh, I can crush 200 people's night. Like the four of us, I don't have to do anything. I'm just here. I get to just be me.
It's interesting because even after a show, when people come up and say to you, you know, oh, great show, that was awesome, that was amazing. There's an aspect of wanting to perform even in that moment for them.
Oh, you do. You still have it turned on a little when you're shaking hands and thanking them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. And so what I've learned to do is just say thank you.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like I got to say thank you and add extra to it.
Right.
Thank you is enough. Just like no is enough. Thank you is enough. Yeah. And what's beautiful about the word thank you is it works even when people are criticizing your act or attacking your act.
Yeah.
If somebody goes, I didn't like that joke that you said about, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or, thank you is a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence. Or as my therapist or my former therapist says, noted.
Noted. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a great way to piss off your partner, though, too, when they say something and you're like, yeah, noted. They're like, you motherfucker, you smug motherfucker. And you're like, no, I'm just saying, you had a point. I heard your point. I'm just confirming that I heard what you said. And they're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's one of those words.
Try that
like,
shit at home.
You're like, what do I do with that? Like, it's such a confusing response, right?
Noted.
But you can't fight back. Yeah. But you also are like, what?
You didn't take out the garbage last night like I asked you.
Noted.
That's hilarious. Don't try that at home, folks.
Don't try that.
No.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, I was on a flight. I've been on a couple flights recently where there have been some medical issues. And, you know, people are like, is there a doctor? You know,
yeah.
And fortunately there were doctors and stuff and taken care of. But then it made me realize like how little we respect psychologists. Because if someone's having a medical issue on a plane.
Right, a heart attack, we need a doctor.
We need a doctor.
Panic attack.
Panic attack, nobody's like, is there a psychologist?
Yeah.
Is there a therapist? Is there
And you want that's happening way more than heart attacks. I bet if we really knew how many people were white knuckling their armrests through flights, we'd be kind of shocked.
They're right. I mean, I've seen people.
Oh yeah,
like they're doing a box breathing. Like
when I see somebody throw up prayers before takeoff, I'm like, all right, if you think, all right, like you're gonna be. God help us if we hit some turbulence.
I think some of the like inappropriate touching on a plane is just like a guy who's nervous. Like I couldn't believe there was this guy in the middle seat. He was with his wife, and he was like Egyptian, you know, Iranian, like places like right. You know the masculinity is to a 10.
Yeah,
and there was some turbulence, and this dude, and the wife was trying not to laugh. But she was like, "You were so nervous," and to the point where he was almost about to grab my leg.
Yeah,
both his arms reached out, and I was like, "Wow, this dude in this moment could be me too." Like if there's a woman next to him, but right. He's just like,
yeah, he needs connection and comfort. Yeah. He needs someone to tell him it's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, he just and I was just like, man, but nobody's like, is there like when a baby's crying or a couple's arguing, we're not calling in mental health therapists. Hey, is there somebody?
Or even other parents. Like the amount of times I've been on a flight and there's a baby crying, and in my heart, like my daughter, I love being a dad. I loved raising the baby when she was tiny. And I will say, like, I felt like I got good at it. I felt like I got really like, dude, I can swaddle a baby and hold it. And like get it calm, and I would do it to other people's babies. Like I remember when I was going through it, and other people's babies are crying. Like, oh, here, swaddle like this. It gets super tight. Da 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 da. And you hold the baby, and you got some nice motion going. And the amount of times I'm like, I want to go back and be like, you want me to take a shift? But also, that's the craziest thing. Hey, do you want me to take your baby? Meanwhile, in my mind, I bet that parent's like, I am so fucking frustrated right now. And I feel so judged by 200 people that my baby's crying that they would probably appreciate it. I've never done it, but I want, like, I will hold a crying baby. It doesn't faze me in the least.
Back in the day, you could do that.
Oh my God. You would? Yes.
A village, they would come in. Let me take the baby. You would give the baby. But now we're like so afraid of strangers or the optics of it. It's like, and then the mom probably doesn't want the look of like, like I can't handle my own baby.
But also, no, you can't.
You can't.
Because sometimes as a parent, you fucking can't. You're just sitting there with like, I had a moment one time when my daughter was just crying. She was like a year and change, and I'm holding her, and she's just screaming, and doesn't have a wet diaper. She just ate. I looked at her, I was like, "What the fuck do you want from me? I don't know what to do." And she says, "Ah!" And I like put her on the bed, and I walked away for 10 minutes. This is before she can move, so she's like on the bed, and I just walked away for 10 minutes, and she calmed down, and I calmed down, and we went on with her. But it's like, there's moments when you're looking at your child that you usually can soothe and you usually can comfort and it's nothing. It has nothing to do with you.
No. And that's what I've learned in life. Because I used to be a person who, like, when I see someone upset, my girlfriend's upset or someone else, like I feel like I have to rush in and like soothe them and calm them down. And like, what do you need? Do you want me to rub your back? Do you want some water? And now I'm learning to just sit back, let them have their experience. And if they need me, they'll ask for it. I know a baby
can't ask. But here's the thing. Do you ask? Like, that's something I'm not good at asking for help at all.
It's so hard. I realize there's 3 H's that I'm working on getting better at: asking for help, asking for a hug,
and head,
and asking for head, and asking
help, hugs,
and to be heard.
Sometimes
sometimes like I might be going through something and I don't need anything from you. I just need you to hear me. Kind of like going back to, remember on the phone.
Yeah,
it's like. Like I remember, I think that was the beauty of being on the phone as a kid that was when we actually listened to each other. Like I remember, like my friend would just go on and on
about nothing,
and
you were in
listen.
It. Yeah,
and then there would be like this long silence, and you were comfortable with the silence. Remember being comfortable with like you'd be on the phone for like 5 minutes without saying anything.
Right.
But it was just knowing that they were there.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, we have to have this ping pong match of a conversation. Like I was about to say something very stereotypical, but like we're old immigrant moms. I'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
Like, but like, it's like, we're not comfortable with the silence anymore.
Yeah. And that's something where like, I know I was in a car ride with Brian Simpson one time.
Yeah.
He and I were driving somewhere and we got in the car. I picked him up. This was here in town. Picked him up. We were going to go grab food with friends, and then we had a show that night. And we're riding in the car, and the first 5 minutes was just like, energetic banter. We're talking about things. What's this? Oh, what'd you do? You flew in from where? Got it. Da 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 da. And then the conversation naturally just lulled. And I turned the music up 2 clicks, and we're just driving. And we drove for 12 minutes. Didn't say a word. And all of a sudden, Brian Simpson's like, I really appreciate that you can handle the silence. And then we didn't speak again for another 10 minutes, and we got to where we were going. And then we went in and had an energetic conversation at dinner with the other comics and da-da-da. But it was something like he pointed it out, and I was like, yeah. And now when I'm in cars with people, like my mom is 79. We just got back from a 12-day road trip to Zion. My mom cannot handle silence. My mom fills every moment of silence. To the point where you're like, why? What is happening in your brain? And now I just observe what I'm like, the experience of my mom sitting in the passenger seat being like 7-Eleven. They're open 24 hours. Okay. Yeah. So, I guess I needed to know.
There's something annoying about people who can just ramble on and on. Like it's like you don't have to be there. Like it's almost
I didn't have to be here for any of this.
They're just in the car having a monologue with themselves. But there's also something impressive about somebody who can just fill the space. Just go from thing to thing to thing to thing.
But it's not. It's just like her. She's just like in the car, and it's like, look, a 7-Eleven sign. I'll tell you about that. Hey, they have pies. Hey, we're not stopping. We're not. There's nothing. It's just like every little thing. Like it's like a whatever. I don't know. It's at first it was like, what the fuck? Like the whole ride. We got 6 hours of driving. Can I just turn the music back up? Like why did I? Because every time she starts talking, I'm like, oh what? And I'm turning. Oh, there actually is no content here. There's no substance to what you're saying. Like you just 7-Eleven's open for 24 hours. Is that a discussion? Are we going to talk about it?
The question is, why do you need the music? See, you're feeling it.
I am feeling it. Yeah. That's true. Valid point. Okay, you got me. I'm filling the space. I don't know. The music makes me feel and think, and knowing about 7-Eleven doesn't.
What are we doing? AC/DC? Are we doing? Or what are we?
Road trips with mom in the car is a lot of. It's a lot of John Denver.
Okay, is that country?
John Denver was like bluegrass country crossover. Just hits, dude. John Denver. Oh, I was singing John Denver Annie song yesterday in the car headed here actually for my voice lesson. I take voice lessons, singing lessons with a coach. And I was driving here, and it just happened to come on, Annie's song, and I was like bawling in my car, belting this shit out.
Doesn't it feel good to cry?
Actually, you know what's funny? I thought that. I was like, oh, I haven't cried in a while. Like, this feels... Like, I haven't had a cry like that was like this emotional, like I'm fucking singing and I'm crying, and it's a song about love and loving someone and what they mean to you, and I haven't had that in a few years. Like, I've been single for... My daughter's 7. Her mom and I split when she was like 1. So like I haven't really felt like a love relationship in 5 years, 6 years. And so I think that's kind of like part of it that like hit me while I was singing that song, because it made me think of like her, that ex. Because like I have 2 ex-wives, and I miss both of them for different reasons. And even like you can think back to your college girlfriend and you're like, oh, I remember how nice that part of it was, or whatever. And yeah, a good cry is fantastic.
Yeah, I think part of it is, and tell me how accurate I am, there's a grieving of not just the love, but like the touch. I perform on cruise ships a lot, and there was a period where I was on for 6 weeks.
Woo!
Who you telling? And, I've been with my girl for 5 years, and I think we were maybe 3 years in or something like that. I'm on this cruise.
Didn't leave the boat for 6 weeks.
So
you're going from here to here.
I went
here to here.
I was I did 3 different boats, so 2 weeks on each boat. So
without a gap in between.
Without a gap in between. So I would get off one boat and then fly to get on a boat somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it was 6 weeks I'm gone, and by like the 5th week, I'm craving touch.
Yeah.
And I realized like the younger Leo would have thought sex, but I realized like I don't really want, I want sex.
Yeah.
But what I really want is, goes back to the hug, right? And this girl is flirting with me, and I'm like, I don't want to sleep with you. I just want to, but I do just want like a 5. Can I get a 10-second hug?
Did you say that? You actually no, but you were thinking, yeah. Because also that's a gray area. You got a lady.
This
is a weird, absolutely, like it's not sexual, but it could be construed. And even if it's just emotional, that's
even right. And then in my head I go, I was like, it would be weird to ask her for a hug. I go, it would be easier for me to sleep with her just to get the hug. Like I would have to sleep with her.
You'd be a real fucking creep to be like, can you just hold me?
Can we just cuddle for? Isn't that weird?
That's weird.
We live in a society where it's less creepy
to just be like to try to sleep together.
Smash?
Yeah.
Then be like, can you just hold me for?
Yeah, I just really need
20 seconds. That's where we are in a society, and then we wonder why people struggle with different. But a hug.
A hug. I will say that, like, I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I hug most of my friends.
Yes.
and even like acquaintance friends kind of things when I see them. And I do make a point, and it's probably for myself, but I think there's part of me that's like, I'm helping them. I hug for too long.
Yes.
I hug extra.
Yeah.
And I know within, like with my daughter, knowing that like I haven't been getting physical, like I have moments where like we're hugging,
yeah,
and I like steal a little extra for me because I'm like, I don't have a person, and I made you, so like you're kind of like, just hug me longer.
Yes.
And then there's part of me that's like, oh, I'm like, am I smothering her sometimes? And maybe I am, but I'm also showing her tons of love too and hug and all that. So, but I catch myself being like, oh, I needed that. I really needed that.
Yeah, I mean that's another like space of thank you, and so the hug, the perfect hug to me. This is when you reach because I feel like every hug has two hugs, right? There's the initial hug when you put your arms around that person, and that's just like, all right, we're hugging because we haven't seen each other and we're being nice, and let's hug. And then if you hold it long enough, you get that second hug where the arms get and the shoulders drop a little, and then maybe the head leans into the
that's the real hug.
That's the real hug.
That's when you started hugging,
right? That's the hug, and then that's when you go, all right, we're here now.
Yeah,
and then you can let go. Now, if you hold on,
I want to sit into that. Yeah. That's the 20 seconds I really need.
Yes.
That first part is like, hey, buddy.
Right.
It's
right. Yeah. Oh, you want the second hug.
The second hug. You got to get through the first hug.
The getting through the first hugs, but it's
a lot of people never get to the second.
They never get to. They have no idea and I didn't even realize it till I saw it in a movie where I forget what the scene was, but they were hugging, and then there was a part where the person tightened it, and I was like, oh, the second hug.
Who is it? Somebody just has I think it was a recent special. They were talking about it, how like. I forget. It doesn't matter. But it was just a clip where a guy was talking about it. He's like, if you're with, if it was a black comic, and he's like, if you're with your boys and you see his shoulders drop, that's when everyone's like, what the fuck was that? The fuck are you doing? It's like, what? It was a hug. He's like, no. You
submitted. You got vulnerable, bro. You went somewhere. You went. You got to your childhood.
Which again, why is that a problem?
It's not, bro. Get there. Get to that second hug, man. I wonder if is there a third hug? Maybe it's the hips.
You start pressing. You start maximizing surface area. Dude, I like maximizing surface area. Dude, that's legit. Notice it too. That's something where it's fun. My brother actually invented that term like years ago. He coined that. And because he would literally give me a hug, and then just to be fucking creepy, he'd like maximize surface area where like a leg's wrapping around. But it's true, dude. You hit that first hug, drop in the second hug, shift gears in the maximizing surface area, and now you and that person are connected.
That's some Avatar stuff right there. Yeah,
you are plugged in. You've connected your tails.
Yes. Yeah. We're not pulling out.
No. Dude, surface area is where it's at.
So how are you getting touch? I mean, you talked about hugging your daughter. Okay.
I'm not.
Are you getting a massage? Are you getting acupuncture?
No.
Are you swimming?
I think about massages. I'm like,
baths.
Nope.
What are you doing? None of that.
No.
Bro, get in a mom's womb, bro. Throw the Epsom salt in, light some candles.
Yeah. Do you take baths? Really?
You know,
I need to. Okay. I'm taking homework. I'm getting homework. I'm going to take a bath tonight.
You know who changed my Byron Bowers, the comedian? He was on a podcast, and he was talking about taking a bath, and he said, he's like, I just needed to get into my mother's womb.
Totally makes sense.
And that's how I think about it now. Man, I go to Costco. I get the big bags of Epsom salt.
Yeah.
I dump that in 20 minutes. I set my timer.
That's how long this bath is going to be.
Because a hot bath, you don't want to go longer than 20 minutes.
Oh, I never knew that.
And you don't want your chest or your heart to go beneath the water. Yeah.
Dropping facts on me. I didn't know this.
Yeah, because after if you drop it under and you go longer than 20.
You're not here.
No, you don't want to be there. You want to stay there.
Hit the nipples.
Yeah. It starts to increase your heart rate to the point where it's like stressful on the body instead of relaxing.
Oh, okay.
It's not calming.
Interesting.
So I do 20 minutes, and then I have a big thing of ice water that I keep there, and I have a towel, and I have some candles. I have real candles. I'm not scented because I have asthma. I don't do scented. That also have artificial candles,
just the little glow light things.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting for ambiance.
Yeah,
we don't need flames.
We need ambiance, and then I got my little spa music. I put on my little Spotify.
Of like just like spa.
Yeah, just a little something.
Yeah.
Like people who watch movies or TV or scroll in the bath, you're
conflicting programs.
Conflicting programs. What are you doing? You can't serve two gods at once.
You can't disconnect while connected.
Yeah, you can't do that. So I just get in there and then I take a little shower after. Rinse it off, and I'm Gucci.
Your skin is soft as can be. Smooth and
smooth.
That salt does work.
Bro. Oh man, it's everything, bro. I'm telling you, hot bath at night.
I'm taking a bath.
I have a friend who does the hot bath in the morning.
You gotta have a proper lifestyle.
You gotta.
That's, and I'm not saying we don't as comics and stuff, but like that's if you're setting aside 20 minutes to take a bath in the morning, like.
Yeah, because it's more than 20 minutes, right? It takes like.
This is a 45-minute endeavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, how do you go work out after you just took it? Like, I'm a weirdo where like I already took a shower, I can't work out.
Really?
Like, and that's probably just the fat kid in me being like, I don't want to fucking work out. I will come up with any excuse.
So some mornings I will shower before I go work out.
Yeah,
and I just feel like
like you're like ready.
Like
you're ready to do it.
Yeah, I'm ready to do it. You know,
where I'm the other way, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna take another shower an hour from now.
Well, you know what? So I do it on the mornings where I don't feel like working out. So sometimes
brightens you up.
It brightens you up, and a lot of times when you don't feel like working out, it's not because you don't want to work out. It's because you already figured out what the workout's going to be, and it's not exciting to you.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
it's kind of like the same old, same old.
Yeah.
So if you switch up your order of operations, then it allows you to bring a fresh energy into the workout.
That totally makes sense.
It's all psychological.
I worked with a trainer for a couple of years, and it's just outrageously expensive, so I stopped. But he would show up, and the other part, like as a single dad, I got a kid here, I can't go to the gym because half the week I have a kid. But he would come to my house and he would just smoke me, and I would have no clue what we were gonna do. But it was interesting because on the days he was coming, I was on the porch stretching 15 minutes. Like I was ready before he was even there. And I would like do some extra stretches and get extra loose. And I was like enthusiastic about this thing that literally was not fun and was fucking real hard work. And I was into it. And then now it's like, all right, well, I just got to wake up and go for the walk, and I'll do the body squats and the push-ups at the park, and then I'll come back and hit the rower. You know what? I got that thing in 2 hours. I probably don't have time, and then I'm going to need a shower. We'll do it tomorrow, and I can come up with all the reasons not to because the enthusiasm's gone. And that's why you think it is, because it's like I've already seen it.
Yeah. And I think that's what people don't realize. You're not just paying for somebody to work you out. You're paying for the psychological aspects that they bring the accountability and then the novelty. Like you said, you don't know what the workout's going to be, and you don't know how many reps you're going to do. You don't know what the order of operations are going to be. You're paying for all these different things that psychologically keep you invested and engaged in the workout. That's what a great personal trainer does. A great personal trainer is not just worried about your calories and the numbers. They're also thinking about, all right, if we did this Monday, psychologically, they're going to need this on Tuesday. And even how you program, because I used to be a personal trainer at Equinox.
Oh, I didn't know.
There's a psychological aspect to the exercises you do and the order you do them in, and the reps that you have them do it. So like if I have you do something, I'll give you an example. If I have you do like a very slow exercise where I go, we're gonna do a 5-second lunge hold, and then switch legs and do a 5-second lunge hold on the other side. If I had you do that for like we're gonna do that for 5 reps, is going to wear your brain out. To hold any like a plank that wears your brain out. So if I have you do a hold exercise, I know psychologically I need to put you into an explosive exercise. See what I'm saying? To break it up. If I have you do a 5-minute hold plank and then put you on a 5-minute hold squat and then a 5-minute, like psychologically you're gonna be like, when's this gonna be over? But if I make you do a hold and then have you do something fun and explosive, you'd be like, oh, this is fun. And then I bring you back to the see what I'm saying?
Now, it's funny because now the workouts that he would put me through, he would build these little circuits.
Yes.
And he's like, so you're going to do this thing, then you're going to do this, then you're going to go down your hill, come back up your hill, you're going to go back into the... Now that makes sense because it was very mixed up. And
you also have to think about what muscles are being used. So it's like if I have you running up and down a hill, I know, all right, that's working out your legs and also your cardio. So then I need to do something more static and less cardio so that I can keep you on a circuit.
Yeah.
So some people, so people think that trainers are just like, do this, do that. But there's so much that goes into programming a workout that when you get done, you're like, wow, that was a great. Now,
and that's how I felt every time. I'm like I felt like, and he'd ask like, how you doing? And I'm like, I worked.
Yes.
I feel like I worked, but I felt good.
Yeah. You're like, wow, because you didn't know it was a mix of novelty and a mix of things that you had done before. So there's also that, like that. And then you don't want all the exercises to be new because then that's too much of a cognitive load. So you want to do some things that you're already familiar with, but mix in a few new where you're like, oh, I haven't done this before. So you always want a couple of those in there. Like, oh, I haven't done this. This is new.
It all makes sense.
There's a friend of mine who has a restaurant in LA. It's an amazing restaurant. And it's always busy, Monday through Sunday, busy. And I was talking to her, and I was like, what are you doing? Because most restaurants are not operating.
Yeah, Monday nights usually aren't hot.
Absolutely. And she said she figured out the psychology of eating. The psychology of eating is Monday through Thursday, people want comfort food, right? Because the day has been so stressful. They just want some familiarity. They said she was like Thursday through Saturday or Sunday, they want novelty. And so her menu reflects that. Monday through Thursday is like, macaroni and cheese, burgers, fries. Like it's pizzas, it's comfort food, pastas. On the weekends, you're looking at the menu like, what is this? I've never had that. Well, let's try that. That kind of thing. And so people aren't aware, but they are aware.
But they're reacting to it.
But they're reacting to it. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. That totally makes sense. After a hard day's work, like I just want it to be easy. I want it to be filling. I want it to be comfortable.
Give me a PB&J. I don't need much. Come on, man.
Dude, a PB&J.
Come on.
A random PB&J.
Oh, my God. Come on.
Which sounds so like what?
Yeah.
Best. The best.
Best. You toast one side, not both. Who are these monsters that are trying to like?
Well, first of all,
ruin
all
the
toasters
inside of your mouth.
All toasters toast. I mean, like, how do you only toast one side? What do you toast?
Put it on the stove. Now, sometimes you can find a toaster that only toasts one side.
This is like within the past 3 days.
Yeah.
I've been writing a bit about how we are toast. Every human is a piece of bread that's slowly being toasted. That's what life is.
Okay.
And in that, I was like, I saw somebody talk about, I forget who it was, but it was on a TikTok, whatever. It was some celebrity on a talk show talking about how, and he was British and he only likes to toast it on one side. And I was like, that's genius. One side is the crispy you want. The other side is literally the soft, doughy, wonderful that you want. Like, how the fuck don't I know about this? That's a thing?
You toast one side, and then that is also the side that you put the peanut butter and jelly on. And then you have the soft side on the outside. And so then you're easing into the crunch of it all. It's an experience, bro.
I'm going to have to do this.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to have to do this. That's like life-changing.
Are you crunchy or are you creamy?
We're talking peanut butter.
But I hope. Is there a crunchy jelly?
You can get some thicker jellies with some chunks in there.
That's
some homemade jelly.
That's an expired jelly, bro.
This shouldn't be crunch. You know what's funny? I can go either if I'm standing at the shelf, though. Yeah. Like if I'm somewhere and somebody makes a sandwich or there's the fixins, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Right. But if I'm standing at the peanut butter shelf, I'm buying extra crunchy.
Extra crunchy.
Yeah, I go extra.
Oh man, you're spreading that with like a butcher knife.
Yeah, it's got to get thick. You're going thick.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, I need the crunchy. It's
so you're crunchy too.
Yeah. Whole milk. I mean.
When I milk, I whole milk. Yeah, I don't milk a lot.
Nah. Yeah, but if I do,
it's whole.
I need the whole hog in there. I need all the fat. Yeah. I need all the things. Is that your daughter's favorite food also?
She won't touch the stuff. My kid doesn't touch peanut butter.
Was she like carrots and hummus?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Oh my God, carrots and hummus, raw peppers.
Ugh.
Raw peppers, which I'm happy. Like, listen, peanut butter ain't the healthiest thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather have her eating hummus and carrots and peppers. Yeah. But like she doesn't touch potatoes. French fries, won't do it. Mashed potatoes, won't do it.
Is she a model? Is she?
No, like, she's just, she just doesn't, like everywhere we go where something comes with the kids menu and they're like, oh, do you want French? It comes with French fries. We're like, can we get a side of fruit? She'd rather have the fruit. And I'm like, God bless you. But also in my head, I'm like, I was planning on eating half those French fries.
Yeah, right. You're yucking my yum right now. Yeah. What's going on? Is the mom like, is she healthy?
She's healthy too, okay. but I think it's just her.
It's the culture. I think it's this culture of kids who
which is good.
They're hyper aware.
They're better health conscious. But like she's not doing it for the health benefit, by the way, because all she also wants to do is eat candy. So it's not like she's like, that's not healthy. No, it's just for her. Carrots and hummus, peppers and hummus. I was
never a candy person.
I'm a chocolate person, not a candy person.
I'm a cookies, cakes, and donuts.
Oh yeah,
that's my thing. That's my holy trinity.
Pie? Does pie fit into there?
Yeah. Any type of pastry, bakery, good. Scone, ice cream.
Oh yeah.
That's. But I love fruit excessively. I don't know if I ever told you this. So like I eat a lot. I used to be like much bigger. I was 200.
I was gonna say you look fantastic. You've lost weight since.
Yeah, I was 246 pounds, and I'm like about 200 pounds now. And
amazing.
But I used to eat healthy foods unhealthily, right? Like I couldn't just eat like a few almonds. I would eat like a big bag of almonds, to the point where I had eaten so many grapes, right? Grapes, true story. I had like I was doing a gig, and I actually missed the gig because I had the runs for like an hour from the grapes.
Because you like crushed an entire bag of grapes or something?
No, bags. I had like 2 or 3 bags of like 4 pounds of grapes, and I just could not get off the toilet. It was just running through me. And when I say a gig, I'm talking about Zany's Comedy Club. In the club, they put you up at.
Yeah, you're in the city, in a hotel room provided by them, yes. And you're just stuck. Yeah,
I just have to go downstairs to get to the club,
and you're just stuck to the toilet.
And I had to be like, I can't.
I'm
the feature act. I can't. And fortunately, the host was a headlining comic who just happened to be hosting, and so he was able to stretch. So embarrassing, bro.
Did they understand?
They understood, as in they were like, blah blah blah, but that booker has not booked me, and then now they're running another bigger club that I didn't realize that they were the booker for. Right. And then I was like, oh, I'll never get in this club.
But also, like, part of you just wants to call and be like, hey, man, I was literally shitting my guts out. Like human to human,
yes.
You've been there. So did you want me to come downstairs and accidentally shit on your stage?
It was so embarrassing. And so at one point, it got even worse than that, where I was in Hollywood about to do a gig, and I eaten so many grapes, I collapsed on Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood and
from a sugar high?
Vine.
From what?
Just all the, grapes have a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
So I'm in the bathroom, and it's just like running through me. And then I get this excruciating pain on my right side, probably from like all the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just feels like if you ever had like a really bad gas,
where it's, you know, I understand like
and
why
you don't
babies
know
cry.
it's gas yet. It's just pain.
It's pain.
Yeah, I've had that.
And so there was just so much fiber trying to move through. It was so like I was balled up on the sidewalk. All the comics are standing around me like, what's going on? And they had to call the ambulance. The ambulance gets there, the EMTs, and they're like, what's going on? They're like, is it crack? Is it meth? Is it heroin? And I'm like, grapes. Straight up. I go, grapes.
And they're like, there's some new crazy drug out there called grapes.
They're like, is it grape crack? Is it grape heroin?
Yeah.
Is it like, you know? And I'm like, no, like grapes, like cherries, plums, grapes. And he was like, it would have been better if it was crack.
Yeah, we could deal with crack. We don't have
we have nothing.
We have nothing to give you for grapes,
nothing
dude.
to give you for grapes. You just got to lay here and think about your life. And they just like left me there. They were like, we have nothing for you. You just got to.
And then did you eventually get yourself to a toilet and just blast out?
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was already blasting out.
Gas.
No, I was blasting out.
You were shitting your pants.
I was shitting my pants. And then it got to a point where whatever was happening, like the pain, and I'm just like, and I just like collapsed on it was just such an embarrassing moment, bro. And to this day now, I still eat grapes, but I have like, I think about that moment. I'm like,
yeah,
this could be the grape that.
This could be the one. Well, if you're starting bag 2, Leo, there's a problem. Like, you are an addict at that point. Like, if you're fiending for grapes.
I'm in a 12-step program
for grapes. The grape program
for sugar. There's a 12-step program for sugar addicts.
Do you consider yourself a sugar addict?
Oh yeah.
It's
I would, you know, you don't. It's funny, like sugar addiction is not taken seriously in the country,
and we're literally all addicted.
We're all addicted to sugar, and
we know that because they're adding it to everything.
It
doesn't need sugar.
It doesn't need sugar. You ever watch this video of a baby being given ice cream for the first time? The first time it's like it had sugar.
I've seen that. And literally.
And you see the pupils dilate.
Yeah.
And the baby just like, give me more. Like, it's a different baby.
Yeah.
That baby is not.
And now we know all this crazy stuff where like your gut biome starts getting geared towards sugar because you're giving it more sugar, so then it wants more sugar, and then that biome, that bacteria actually like smothers the good bacteria that wants the natural ingredients, and then it starts sending signals to your brain that says, give me more sugar. Like, it's crazy.
You just create gremlins. It's basically like you're feeding gremlins. So that's why like you can always keep eating dessert. There's always room for dessert. Because like the more sugar you eat, the more it's called ghrelin, actually, the hunger hormone.
Yeah.
So like the more sugar you eat, the more ghrelin you produce. And so like, to me, I just think of them as like gremlins. Like when you pour water on the gremlins, they multiply. It's the same thing. And so like you're like more until like you pass out into a carb coma, and then you wake up and then you still like more.
Your brain's still telling you to get more.
Yeah.
So was that like, did you get into this 12-step sugar program because you were 246 pounds and you were like, hey, I can't stop eating this stuff?
Yeah. I just realized, like, when I look back on my life, I was dating a girl who, there was one point I came home one night and she said, are you doing gigs just to go get donuts? Bro, when I tell you, I still think about that question to this day. And she wasn't wrong, because every time I would book a gig, I would think about what donut shops or
close
cupcake
or on
shops,
the way home,
or no, on the way there and on the way back. Like, it was a problem, bro. It was I would literally pass out. I would just like. And then I would eat a couple before the gig.
Like how? Like when you go to the shop, how many donuts are you buying? Are you getting one donut?
So no. I'm getting like. So like, I'll get like maybe 4 donuts. But
what kind of donut?
Apple fritters. So like the big. Oh, you know how big those are.
That's not even a donut. That's a dessert.
It's a dessert. Yes,
That's.
So I remember. Here's a moment where I was like, I got a problem. I remember I went to 7-Eleven and I got a big thing of Pringles,
Like, so if I need the crunch, and then I got a big thing of Oreos, and then I got like the pint of ice cream, and I get in my car, and I eat all of it
pre-show.
Right? I think this was after a show.
Oh, okay.
This is after, and then I ate it so fast, and I still want more. But I'm so embarrassed. I'm too embarrassed to go in.
Can't go back to that.
So I drive to another 7-Eleven, buy similar stuff, crush that, and then I'm like, I want more. And I drive to a third. Now I can't find a 7-Eleven. I drive to a gas station.
Yeah, this is a problem.
And then I just like crush it. And then like I'm coming in a house like I just murdered somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like now I gotta
you feel guilty.
The guilt, the shame, and now I'm like gassy and burpy.
Yeah.
And my girl like wants to touch me to make love,
and you're
I'm
like, trust me,
like like I'm not.
And you're not going to sleep well.
I'm not going to sleep well. Like I'm waking up bloated. My voice is like,
yeah.
It's and like just night after night of doing that. It was a problem. And
you're shining a light on my life right now.
And then it was a point where I was like, I would think about. I used to live out my car for a minute.
Yeah.
For a couple of years. When I say a minute, actually, for a couple of years. And I was like, as long as I got enough to get like a donut or a cookie or like that's all I would think about. I was like, do I have enough to get sugar? That's all I cared about. I was like, I could just die in an alley if I.
What were you doing? What were you doing in life when you were? Living
I was still.
Were you a comic? You were trying to be a comic, so you were just broke comic.
I was broke comic. I was still auditioning. Mm-hmm. What's crazy is I'm living out my car. And
what kind of car?
I booked. It was a Honda Accord. Well, I had a couple cars, but so my first car was a blue. It was like a Buick. It was an old Buick where the driver's side door wouldn't even open. So I had to climb into the passenger side door
to get to the driver's car.
And so there was a point where one night I got the first night I bought it. Right, it was like I bought it for like I don't know $1,000 or $2,000. The first night, so I hadn't switched the plates over or whatever. And I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard. I get pulled over by the cops late at night because the plates don't match.
Yeah.
And when I look back, there's like 20 cop cars lined up on Sunset and Vine, right where the Amoeba Records. I don't know if you. Anyway, for me, they're lined up for me, guns drawn, helicopter above. Right? This is the first day I get this car. And they want me to get out the car. Now, remember, my driver's side door does not open. My window rolls down.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about how easy it is for them to shoot me.
Right.
Because if
I'm you do any weird movement,
So they go, drop your keys out the driver's side door. So I roll down the window, drop my keys out the driver's side door. And then they go, with your left hand, open up your car door from the outside.
You're like, I can't.
And so and they're so far back, right? They're not like right up on me. So I have to yell, I can't open my driver's side door. And I hear the guy go, what? And then I hear the woman says, I think he said he can't open a driver's side door. And I go, I can't open my driver's side door. It's stuck. I have to go out the passenger. And so then they go, climb out through the window.
Yeah.
Now, how do you climb out through the window without using your hands and making it weird? So I keep my hands up.
Yeah.
Luckily, like I'm young, I'm athletic. I can keep my hands up and push myself.
Trying to do the
yeah.
But I'm not grabbing shit.
Right. So I climb out the driver's side window. They're like, take 5 with your back to us. Take 5 steps to the left. So I take 5 steps to the left. They go, get down on your right knee. I get down on my right knee. I have a torn meniscus, so this isn't comfortable. Get down on your left knee. I get down on my left knee, and this is like 2:00 in the morning. You go, lay face down, put your hands behind your back, laying face down, hands behind my back. The cop that comes over to handcuff me has never handcuffed anybody in his life. He is. I'm like, I haven't made this. I can't make this easier for.
That's a hilarious scene in a movie where there's like helicopters flying around, 20 cops, gun drawn, and then the guy that's trying to cuff you's fumbling with the handcuffs.
And I'm like, bro, get your shit together. Straight up, because
hey, you're ruining my night.
Because from there, they're so far. It looks like I'm resisting. It's taking you so long. I'm like, figure this out. You know, like I'm trying to help. I'm like, wait, like,
just give me the cuffs. Just give me the cuffs.
And so finally, he gets the cuffs on me. They pull me up, and the lieutenant, like you could tell, he's a head honcho. He's this tall, 6'4" black dude, cool as a cucumber. And he's like, we pulled you over because your plates don't match and your car matches the description of a car that was just stolen. And I'm not making this up. There was this redheaded short cop next to him. You could tell he was the guy who wanted the black cop's position.
Yeah,
but
he wants a little more power.
He's the Napoleon.
Yeah.
He wants all the power, but doesn't have the emotional fortitude or leadership abilities
right.
to
handle the
power. And so the black cop is like, you know, we can take you to jail for this. And the redhead cop goes, yeah, we could take you to jail for this.
Yeah.
And he just has his high school, and he just keeps repeating everything. And then the black cop literally says this to me. He goes, you know, if you're in Long Beach, they would have shot you, right? That's what the black cop said to me.
The redhead guy was like, yeah.
They could have shot you.
It's like a Jack Russell Terrier just hopping, ready to go.
Exactly. And so, and I go, yeah, I get that. He goes, no, seriously, in Long Beach, they would have shot you, right?
For what, though?
Exactly.
That's at what point? At what point?
I'm just yes-anding.
Yeah.
I just like.
I love it. You're running an improv scene.
Yeah. I'm just like, the black cop is clearly cool. He understands the situation.
Yeah.
And I can tell he's going to let me go. The redhead cop.
He's ready. We're taking you downtown.
Yeah. He's like the guy in Game of Thrones or whatever. He wants to feed me to the dogs, you know?
Yeah. Oh, geez.
And so I'm just yes-anding the black cop. I'm ignoring the redhead cop. And they do my paperwork and they let me go. And I was just like, wow, like what an experience, bro. But so I don't even know how we got on that story.
Doesn't matter. I'm glad
Doesn't
we
matter.
did.
But I was just so grateful that it worked out for me.
Yeah.
And that, you know, the one cop was cool. And then it just made you realize, like, you know, there's such an image, I think, in social media of like cops just wanting to, you know, it's like, no, man, there's like, most of them are great cops. They're cool cops. I've had a lot of great interactions with them. But there's just like a few Starscreams. He's like, he was like Starscream in Transformers, the redhead guy. You know what I'm saying? Like wants the power, but doesn't, but wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, he can't wield the sword.
Yeah, and no one will respect him. He's not,
which only makes him want to use the sword more.
Yes.
I will be respected.
Yeah.
I will be. Yeah,
that's a
you have to.
Guy.
Look, I got the badge and the gun. Yeah,
and you're like, how does he get that far?
Because it's not hard. Because they need them, and it's not hard to be a cop.
It's not. It's. You know, because you don't need to pay. You don't need a bachelor's degree. You know what's crazy?
They have signing bonuses now.
You need a master's degree to be a librarian. Straight up, bro.
Which, truthfully, I mean, if you got the right kid and you start handing him the right books, you got a lot of power. You need a master's degree to be a librarian,
bro,
and you can have your GED and be a cop.
Which
again, there's nothing wrong with that too, because there's plenty of great cops out there that they serve their community and they got their GED for whatever. But yeah, you need a master's degree. I think that's an interesting conversation that people have when they, there's so much weirdness around cops now and being cops. And like, I think a lot of precincts are like, they're having a hard time. Like there's billboards up all over San Diego because they need cops, and people don't want to be a cop now because it's not, it used to be you were a part of the community and you were a servant to the community. And now people hate you just because you are,
They need to hire a marketing team to rebrand them, or they need a rebrand.
They do need a rebrand, probably, but they also like the movement, like the defund. It's like, no, these guys are no different, and this is sad, but these guys are no different than the guy that's in the army and he's sitting in Afghanistan, and they're on missions and they're doing patrols and they're seeing horrible things and da. But those guys, most of the time, get into this shit and then are given time to recoup after the shit before they get sent back into the shit. They go out and they have a horrible firefight one night. They're not going back the next night. Where a cop goes out every day and deals with the worst of, everyone that he's talking to is lying to him. Everyone's a potential threat. Every time he pulls over a car, something horrible could happen. And they show up to car accidents where families are dead, people are dead, drunk drive. Like, they see the worst shit. And then they go home and wake up the next day and do it again. Like, we don't give them any help in the fact that they are in traumatic situations on a daily basis. And they're just expected to show up and clock in the next day. Like, all that didn't happen.
As you were saying that, and I think two things make it so much more traumatizing. One is if they ask for help, it goes on their record.
Yeah, they can ask for help.
A bonus or a promotion. And I think the second thing is they clean up the streets only to see what they've just cleaned up put right back on the streets.
Every day they're starting over.
Have you ever...
and they also know at this point, because of all these weird rules with like theft and shit, they're arresting people knowing that guy's out tomorrow. Or it's not even worth arresting him because it's a ton of paperwork and he's going to get out tomorrow.
You ever mop the floor?
And then somebody walks right through that shit.
That's what being a cop is. I just mopped I just cleaned up. I just swept. Or you do the dishes, and then somebody slides a
fresh dirty dish. Yeah,
bro, that's what being a cop is. People just constantly putting
every
dishes
day, and then you have a gun on your hip, and you're like, "That's the last time. That's the last time somebody's walking across this floor." Yeah, that's the guy. I like that.
It's dangerous. I saw you looking at what were you looking at up there? Oh, I thought you were looking at a clock.
My eyes jet around.
I have ADHD.
It's a focal thing. It's a focal thing for me. I have to, whatever I'm like locked in on and focused on, I have to look away and come back. It's like a weird eye thing I have.
I know. I read Benjamin Franklin doesn't even make eye contact when he's talking to someone because he finds that it helps him, or found that it helps him to he's still alive.
He's still going. It's really weird when he makes eye contact now.
He can listen better.
That makes sense. I could see it work in both directions, listening better and speaking, because when you have eye contact just like that, if you're in the middle of talking and I'm engaged with you and then I happen to do something, you're like, what happened? And now your train of thought. I find that like when I'm on stage, I don't know where you look. I look above everyone. And I've actually been told like, hey, it doesn't look like you're looking at them. Like it looks like you're looking over them. I'm like, yeah, because I am. Because if I'm in flow and I'm running this bit and I'm in the middle of this set, whatever, I'm looking, unless I need to specifically engage, I'm literally 3 inches above everyone's head. Because if I connect an eye contact, I know it pulls me out.
I'm thinking I'm making eye contact because I want to pull them in. That's how I think about it. I want to pull them. We came back to the pull out again. Yeah. See what happens there. I want to pull people in, and I don't feel comfortable doing it. Actually, I don't like it, but I feel like it's necessary to connect with the audience. And also I make eye contact with people who are emoting the most, right?
Okay.
Like I'll see people like, you always have that person who has their arms crossed or they're yawning or
facing sideways or some shit.
Absolutely. So I'm just like, and typically like I would lock in on them. You know how our brains work, right? Why aren't you paying attention to me?
Yeah. 200 other people are loving this show, and there's one guy, and you're like, why don't you like me?
Yeah.
Why? You're ruining this whole night. There's 200 people who are like, this is the best night.
But in my head, I'm thinking, I don't need to win the audience over. I'm just like one person.
Yeah.
It's like, you're my person for the next 5 seconds. And now you're my person for 5, and it's just, for me, it becomes more fun that way.
Yeah.
Of like,
I think like when I get on stage, I always take in the crowd and I try to make eye contact with kind of everybody that I can see. And I have I have a I don't know if it's weird. I don't know. I have a thing that I do, and I do it all the time. I will get on stage and completely reset the energy to the level of awkward. Like, I won't go into my thing. I will go up there and kind of sit in silence and like look around. I'm like, oh, look at you. Okay. Hey, you're here. And I let it get weird. And then I start. And I don't know why. I've done it since I started. And I think there's some part of me that's like, I'm a different part of this show. I'm my part. And that last guy did great. I'm not him. I'm not going to ride that energy. You're mine now. And I'm going to start in a divot. I'm going to take us down. And maybe that's my way of connecting, because during that I'm like looking and connecting. But then once I'm in it, I'm above them.
So like when you invite people to your house, you're like, let's go to the basement first, and
yeah,
and then I'll bring you up to the living room, and then the attic.
Some version of that. Like, it gets like, I make it awkward, and then in my head I'm like, oh shit, it's getting weird, and then I'm like, fuck that, yeah, let's get weird. Like, let it get weirder. And now I'll call it out. I'll be like, I will let this get as uncomfortable as I need.
How fun is that though?
That's the thing.
Fun.
Is like, because now I'm like,
it's
every
exciting.
set's a challenge.
Yes.
Because I gotta get out of this hole that I just dragged us all into.
Yeah.
Where they're like, is this guy going to tell jokes? Like, what's this guy doing? And they're like, maybe.
Maybe this is a show.
Yeah, you're not in control.
No.
I'm in control.
Yeah.
So that's a weird one I do. But I don't make I just hang out above them. And then and I have bits where like in it, I'm like, what do you, and I connect. But for the most part, I'm all up here. Because I'm like, have you ever done a show and like in the third row, you're just sitting there doing your set, da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden there's someone you know? And your brain, and my brain just like, yeah. And I did it to someone. That's how I learned about it. I went to a show and a friend of mine was featuring, and I was sitting in like the third row. This is very early in comedy. And he's in the middle of a bit, and all of a sudden he goes, oh, James. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. He didn't want to address me, but his brain threw up. His subconscious was like, you know that person. So whatever he was saying just got interrupted, his whole flow, his cadence, all the stuff. Because his subconscious threw out pattern recognition. And so I tried, like, I think that's part of it too, is I don't want, like, when people come to shows, I'm like, sit in the back.
That's exactly how I feel. And I'm trying to get more comfortable with it. I heard Whitney Cummings say that, always record a special in anywhere but where you're from.
Oh, yeah.
Because it should comedy should only be done in front of strangers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And and so I've had friends come to shows that I didn't know were going to be there, and I'll shout them out. And what I found is, it does break up the flow and it does break up the cadence for sure, but it also, in some ways, can validate who you are and what you're about.
To them, you mean?
To the audience. So like if if I'm on stage and I'm talking about relationships or this or that, and then I have a friend in the audience that I didn't know was going to be there, the fact that this friend is enjoying the show, it almost gives credibility to what I'm saying.
To you or to the audience?
I think, no, to the audience.
Because you've called out, they're like, oh, that's my friend.
I'm like, that's my friend. And so if I'm up there and I'm like, so I used to blah, 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 and my friend is laughing and like, yeah. Then the audience go, oh man, he's
this must be true. His friend, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess
so. So I kind of think of it like that, of like, but it's also encouraged me to be more authentic on stage, because I could be in situations where people I know show up or whatever, and I would hate to be talking about something and then my friend is like, "What is?"
That's not how that happened.
Yeah. And so it's it kind of keeps me honest, more honest on stage of like, oh, okay. And then I heard Richard Pryor say, when he's on stage, he just imagines he's in his living room.
Yeah.
Right. And
and everybody's just his family members, and he's just talking to. So it's like if somebody gets up to use the bathroom, or somebody's cranky, he doesn't get mad. He's just like, yeah, that's my crazy uncle. That's just, you know.
We're in the house. Someone's got to go.
Yeah, somebody's got to go, and that's fine. You know, it's a barbecue. They had too many to drink, and so it keeps you from being like reactive on stage. You're just like, oh yeah, that's just
accepting.
Yeah, you're just accepting, bro. So you know, this the mindset of and you can see it. I did a show once, and this comic went on stage. This was early in my career, and I was featuring. And he goes on. His character is like this very goofy. Like, hey guys, how's it going? And like 2 minutes in, there's this couple talking up front, and then he switches from, hey guys, blah blah blah. He goes, shut the fuck up! What the fuck are you doing? Like,
he opened the curtain.
He opened the curtain, and then he tried to go back.
There's no going back,
and never.
We don't trust you at all.
No, you broke our trust, and so that was interesting. That word trust, I realize, is not a positive word. It's a neutral word. Like when I think about, if I say I trust you, it doesn't necessarily mean I trust you to do good. Like I trust you with my kids, or I trust you with my family. It just means that I understand you.
I trust you to be consistent.
Yes.
That what I'm seeing is what I'm getting, and I can deal with that.
Right. So I think that's what, like, not to get political, but I understand the allure of Trump, because Trump gives off this like feeling of trust. Like, I know who he is. I know what he's about. I know what he's going to do. Where with Kamala, people are like, I don't quite know.
Right. You've had a different accent.
Yeah.
You're doing different accents every week.
Yeah.
Where Trump is just like, all right, he's crazy. And what's weird about Trump, because I had this conversation the other day, is like, and I think this is like the whole world, and even the right, even the people or the middle, whoever voted for him or whoever was like, he's the better option, because they were like, he's genuine in the fact that he's fucking, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, he's consistently inconsistent.
Yes.
But we know like he's got this goal or these ideas. And I think part of it is also like, you know, the past 4 years with Biden, the rest of the world was like, everything's fine. We can kind of do what we want. Like, we don't expect too much pushback. Biden's got no backbone. America's kind of just simmering over there. And now with Trump, they're like, this guy's got the keys to the nukes, and we don't know. So we're going to tone it down. We're going to tone it down a little bit. We're going to pull back a little. We're not going to be so aggressive, because this guy's, we don't know what we're really working, you know. And I think that's like the consistency for him is like he's just off the cuff.
Yeah.
He's shooting from the hip.
He's like a toddler, and we're cool
he's
with
it. He's a drunk toddler.
Yes. He might write on the walls. We don't know.
We don't know.
Food, he might eat it.
Listen, he's going to piss in the corner. He's going to claim the space. We know that. So, well, tell me this. So you are a family therapist? So I have
a master's in counseling psychology.
Okay.
And I currently life coach.
Got it.
So, but my specialty is one, conflict resolution. You know,
again, being the bridge,
and two, suicide prevention.
Yeah.
So a lot of my clients on the suicide prevention part are typically women who are very successful in their careers, but have lost meaning in life. Like,
they consider themselves suicide risks.
Oh yeah. You'd be surprised at the number of people who they feel like they've checked all the boxes in life, and they're just like,
but what does it mean?
Because and they're just suffering in their personal life. You know, they're suffering in their relationships. They're suffering in their families. They're in their health, in their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. They're just like, they're struggling in that area, and so they're successful at work, suffocating, grieving different issues. So it's quite interesting, you know, because here's the thing: is money and accomplishments and all those things, people typically are getting those things to please other people. So that's what I find, because a lot of my female clients are like middle-aged, and they realize they've been living their life for someone else, for their father, for their mother, society, the religion, the culture,
their social group.
So they get into this space
got a car.
of like, then they go, oh, what about me? And so they get to this point where they're tired of, like you mentioned earlier, of performing for other people. It gets exhausting, and they're tired, and they're like, am I going to feel like this the rest of my life? I don't want to feel like that. What am I? So it's like you go, and then it gets painful. Like there's literally a point where performing, feeling like you have to be on, not having any boundaries set, and then not having anything that you're looking forward to, like that becomes painful. And then you just kind of are just slowly drifting away from life and connection.
And what do you find is like one of the best first steps to connect or come back or live for yourself? Like what is part of that path to bring them back into a positive life experience for them? Like to get them out of it.
So
living for themselves, maybe.
So typically it depends on where they are. If they are in a crisis mode, like you could see it in their face, like this could be their last day. The pain, the tears, the anger, the mixed, the mania, like they're cycling. In that moment, it's really about getting them into their body. Identifying what you're feeling, and then where you're feeling it. Do you feel it? A lot of them will say they feel it in their chest. A lot of them will say they feel a heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll say they feel it in their chest or their stomach or their throat. It's usually upper body. And then I'll get them to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, how heavy, and they'll say a 7. And I'll go, okay, why didn't you say 8? And then that's where the shift takes place. It can happen so quickly.
Wow. Yeah, I get that. Why didn't you say 8?
Yeah.
So there's something good.
Yeah,
there's something that pulled you back
Yes.
from the worst.
Yes.
And then start there.
Right. And then start there.
And then you prescribe second hug.
Then you get the second hug.
And we'll work up the third hug.
We'll work up the third hug. Yeah. And so the first step is, and like I said, that's if they're in a crisis situation.
Yeah.
So there are people who are in a crisis situation where, so that would be the intervention. So you have to know like what mode you have to be in. Am I doing an intervention right now?
Yeah.
Or are they out of the crisis mode, and now we're helping them build a life worth living for? So now we're talking about the future.
How does that work as far as like, I mean, if this woman, we're going to take that example, if this woman's in crisis mode, does your phone ring and she's just like, I'm on the edge? Like, how does it get to you in that moment? Like, how are they, this sounds weird to me, but like, wake up, something happens, you're in crisis mode, but then you got a call or a meeting, and then and I have therapy tomorrow. So how do they get to you in crisis mode? Because they had to do all this other shit.
So typically, great question. So typically, like, it starts off with a phone call. And typically when they call me, they're not in the crisis mode.
Okay.
I'm talking about like somebody I haven't worked with ever.
And they're like, somebody referred me.
Yes.
I would like to set up an appointment.
Right. And then it's in that first session, when things start coming up, it usually takes us about 10-20 minutes if depending on where they are in their life, for it to really come bubbling up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so then there's like this 20-minute window of like, because the sessions are an hour, so then there's that 20-minute, I'm thinking of everything in time, and then there's that 20-minute window of where like we do a deep dive into what she's experiencing, what's going on. And then that last 20 is like, all right, how do we land the ship and give them actionable steps to get them to the next session so that they feel like safe and supported? Because a lot of people don't actually want to end their life. Most people just want relief from the pain and suffering, and then they want something to look forward to.
Right. Where's the light?
Right.
Where's the light at the end of the
They want the light. And then, the third piece is they want to go forward with they don't want to go forward alone. Right? A lot of people, there's this book called The Fox, the Horse, and the Hen. That's not the title of the book, but it's like a children's book, but it's great. And one of the questions is, is it what's more important, the journey or the destination? And the response is neither. The most important thing is who you're with. And so that becomes, I find, the tipping point for when people call me, when they feel like there is no with.
Yeah.
They're like, there's no one.
And sometimes they're surrounded.
They're surrounded.
Sometimes they have a family and a house and a life and children, and then they're like, but I feel alone the entire time.
Yes. There's no one who gets me. And so that aloneness is, we have different aspects of ourselves, right? There's in Asian culture, they'll say you have your public self, your private self, and then your secret self. So your public self is your front facing, everybody knows you. Your private self is who you are at home with like your more intimate friends and family. Then there's your secret self that like no one knows about.
Right. And we all have it.
We all have it. Right. I mean, except AI. AI knows your secret self.
Yeah. It's feeding you the algorithm, which is only making your secret self get a little more deviant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so loneliness, people think of loneliness in terms of people you're surrounded by, but loneliness is the degree to which you can express the full range of who you are. That's loneliness. If there are parts of you that you are afraid to express or suppress or can't tap into, that's where the loneliness is, right? So that's why it's so important to have, you have your family, you have your friends, but then you also have groups and you have organizations and you have your church. And you have these different areas. There's a book called like The Third Space. This is why guys stop at a bar, because there's your work,
right? Which
that's a different version of you.
Yeah, that's the work guy,
right? That's the work guy,
my professional version.
Yeah, and then you have the home guy,
right? Where I got to be dad or husband.
Right? You have responsibilities at home. You have responsibilities at work, and you're like, I need a third space where nobody's asking anything of me. And that's what people misunderstand about the alcoholic or the guy who stops at a bar or stops for a donut is most people aren't aware of what they need. They're aware of what they want, that surface. I want a donut. I want a drink.
But it's really the community.
Laid. But they need it doesn't even have to be a community.
They need a space. They need a place to go do that.
They need a space that's not asking anything of them, where they can just be.
So the drinking is actually just a byproduct of needing the space.
Yes.
Because that's what happens in the space.
Nobody's asking you.
If I'm not drinking and I'm hanging out here, they're going to be like, this guy's weird.
It's like asking for the hug. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
You see what I'm saying? So whether it's the bar or going for a hike or going, but you need a third space where you can, and this is what people get wrong about. I don't want to say wrong, but this is what people don't understand about a vacation. If you're taking, your spouse and your kids on a vacation and they require a lot from you, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to feel like a vacation. A vacation is a space where you can go, where you don't have the same responsibilities as you do at home.
Yeah. Now,
some families, I'm not, like I said, you just have to be aware of what's a vacation for you. That might be a vacation for you of like, all right, we're loading up the camper. We're going.
I've got every minute planned out. Yeah. Taking the kids to this. The wife's going to do that.
Yes.
We're going to, And
but if you're going on vacation, you're coming back and you're still kind of resentful or like feeling like something was
Do you need
missing.
a vacation from your vacation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think when people can get quiet enough, then you can start to be like, oh, I reached for this, but I really needed that. Like a lot of times when I'm reaching for donuts or some snack or whatever, I really needed a nap, or I needed water. I was dehydrated, or I needed to journal. I needed time to reflect, or I needed to get out the house and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or I just needed a random.
Because you definitely didn't need the donut.
You didn't. I didn't need the donut. I didn't. There's the chances in my life that I would need like unless I'm like going into like a diabetic thing and I need like a quick thing of sugar.
Yeah.
Or I'm like running a marathon. I need a quick, like you see marathon runners, they'll drink like Coca-Cola and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, I don't need the donut.
And the donut only gives you what? A minute and a half of actual like dopamine hit.
I'm right back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say the third space. So I've been divorced twice. And the wisdom I feel like I've taken from that is, and I say this to pretty much any of my friends that are married, because I don't know I know maybe 1 or 2. Like it's interesting how many couples I know where there is an underlying struggle in their relationship. And I totally get it. Like once you got kids and life and it's busy and there's all this stuff. And I realized this after getting divorced and now raising a kid, of like the fact that like I have my daughter 50-50, which means every 1 week I have her 5 days in a row. The next week I only get her for 2 days. And then I don't see her for 5 days. She's with her mom for those 5 days. So I literally have like 5 days on, 2 days, and then 5 days off, 2 days, this like goes back and forth. The time I don't have her and I just get to be a person makes me a better dad when I have her. And I've told a number of couples that I've known that I'm close with where they're like, yeah, we're seeing a therapist, we're doing stuff. I was like, hey, here's an idea. I was like, I look at them and how they interact. Like every day, their kid needs something. Every single morning, no matter what happened yesterday, every single morning, they got 2 kids running around their house. Those kids need things, and then there's soccer, and then one of them's got baseball, and then there's a dinner thing we have to go to, and then work said I got to do this, and my wife's work has to do that, and did it like every day. And so what I say is like, give this a try. Once a month, one of you, one parent, gets to just go for take a 3-day weekend, and that's as simple as go down the road and get a hotel room and drink coffee and read books all day, or go to the movies, or sit on the beach, or ride your bike around every day. But for 3 days, you are not responsible for anyone else's emotional well-being. You just get to be you, away from everybody. And then the next month, the other person gets to do it. Because that's the thing that I think people don't like. Nobody gets that. Everyone wants it. And I don't know if it used to be better, because back in the day when we were all working in the fields, you were working together, but you weren't. Somebody was doing the stuff with the chickens. Somebody was with the goats. The dad was on the tractor. You didn't see, like, you saw each other all day, but you didn't. Everyone was doing what needed. And now I think it's like come 5:30 when the parents are done with work and whatever, everyone's just crammed into this hole of need.
That's why I love coffee shops. I love hotel lobbies. I love hanging out, even in bars. I'll go to a bar. I'll order a drink. I don't drink, and I'll just sit there. But so there's this need to be in social situations without people needing anything from me.
Yeah.
And I just love to just people watch, go to the beach. Oftentimes, so like I work on cruise ships a lot, doing stand up. And when I come home, my girlfriend knows that I'm going to come home, drop my bags off, then hop in the car and drive to La Jolla Shores. I cannot go from, I've just been on a cruise ship for a week or two, performing it for people, being around people, and then coming home, and now I'm doing home stuff. I need
a buffer.
A buffer.
Yeah.
And going to La Jolla Shores, where there's this dynamism of people and cultures and languages and foods, and you see a proposal and kids playing volleyball and another family having a picnic and the seals, and it's just so much happening, and no one, and I can be a no one.
Yeah, you're a fly buzzing around.
I'm a fly buzzing around. I need that feeling. And then you have the ocean and the waves and the vistas and the electrodes. It's like it's the thing that I need. But it took me a while to discover that. So don't beat yourself up for not knowing what you need.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people don't even realize they need. And then the fact that, like, I think there's a lot of people, like, you hear a lot of comics joke about, so many comics have made the joke of, like, when you drive home and you pull into your driveway and then you just sit in your car for 10 minutes because as soon as I open that door.
How was your day? What'd you do?
Need.
Can you grab that?
Yeah.
Did you pick up the milk?
And so that makes sense that like you were on the trip where it sounds like to anyone else, like, wait a second, you were on a cruise ship sitting by the pool all day, and then you performed for 45 minutes 3 times during that week? What do you need a break from? And it's like, well, also the whole time you're walking around, tell me if I'm wrong, because I've heard this from a few other comics that are on cruise ships, are like, once you do a show, everyone knows you. And now you're on the whole week. If you're up by the pool or going to breakfast, you're at the same buffet they're at. And then and if you're doing 3 shows during that week of cruise, well, a third of that cruise ship saw your show already. And they're at breakfast being like, hey, we love that. Can we sit with you? I forget who. I think it was Zoltan that told me that. Like, it was one of his first cruises. He did the shows. And the next day, he's got to go to breakfast. He's sitting at like a far off table in the breakfast thing. And like a family of 9 was like, we loved your show. And they just sat down and ate with him. And he was just sitting there like, this is the fucking worst. This is not what I wanted. Like, now I'm still fucking performing now. Like, I can't be me right now.
Oh, I tell people no. I've gotten to that place.
Boundary.
I go, I need my space right now. I need 30 minutes. I give people time. I'll tell them. I'll say I need 30 minutes to myself right now.
Yeah.
And they get it. It's something about when you give people time, they understand it.
Huh.
I go, I need 30 minutes. So when I come home and my girl's like, but I go, I need 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And then I'm all yours.
Yeah.
But I was like, and so it took a while to get to that space of when I come in, we don't have to talk. No. You don't have to ask me about my day or how the thing.
Because tell me this though, as soon as you walk in, there's probably a hug.
No,
not even that.
No, because we got a dog. The dog gets all the hugs. Yeah, the dog gets all the hugs. It's like a kid. It's like any couple, and I don't know, like when you were married and you had your first kid, it's like all the moms or the wives' energy goes to the kid, and then so now you have to initiate contact.
No,
you get it. The dog, it gets all, because I'm not a dog person.
Well, the dog's enthusiastic to see you, though. The dog's like, hey,
but
you're
I'm
back.
not a dog person. I'm like, scram. But so but the dog is definitely at the door, like, wagging the tail and making all the ruckus, and then scurries away. So that's a cool thing to have. But it's like, we need that third space. And I recognize that not everywhere in the world, in the country, has that, in terms of the space between your job and your home, where you're like, I can pull in here and detach for a second. Mm-hmm. Outside of a bar, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate is always the bar. Like, and I think that's part of like what sucks about it. You see it changing now, where there are bars everywhere. Yeah. It's either bars or gyms, right. And like the gym is asking you for money. It's like I barely got enough for rent and electricity, right. And now you want me to pay this whatever. And
unfortunately, if you go to a park it's weird to interact with other people.
Exactly.
When the truth is, at the bar, it's told you can strike up a conversation with anybody.
Anybody. You could just kind of unload, and vent. And then, bookstores are closing early. So all the things, all the third spaces close early, the healthy third spaces, from your tea shops and bookstores, they're like closing at 5. You're like, I need you after work. Just to peruse the aisles. Yeah. Just to
breathe
take in something different. You walk through a store, you don't buy something, you feel weird. You know what I mean? They're looking at you like, why are you
in here?
Why are you in here? Why are you in Sephora?
Why are you in Sephora?
It's like I need to, you kind of seek a third space that's the opposite of what you've just had.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like if you're in like a dark, damp, like you work in a foundry or whatever, then you probably would like something bright like a Bath and Body Works or a Sephora. You know what I mean?
Also, I'm picturing a guy that just got off an 8-hour shift at the foundry, walking through a Bath and Body Works, smelling like
even better.
Yeah.
That sensory, you need that breakup, But that's what makes nature beautiful. But a lot of people, once again, like for them to really access nature, they got to go so far, or it's wintertime. And you're not going to be outside.
Or even when they do, it's funny now, like you asked me like in the car riding in the silence, why do I need the music? And it's like, it's weird. Like I've been on hikes, or I've been like, I was just at Zion or whatever. And there's people walking around with music coming out of their backpacks. And it's like, or the people on the bike path or at the beach, like just blaring music. It's like
music, speakerphones. I hate people who FaceTime on speakerphones.
And just walking around.
And sometimes they'll be at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you look at them and they look at you like, what? And I go, why are you bringing your you're not like only for conference calls. I get that. That's in an office, but you're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Why are
you're walking around the store? You're in nature.
It's so crazy to me that people don't understand how rude that is to be on speakerphone and blasting out. And they got it at a 10, and then they're speaking loud. I was at a restaurant once, and I was staying at a hotel. Hotels have like little breakfast restaurants. And so I'm sitting there, and this lady sitting across from me. She has her phone propped up. She's FaceTiming on speakerphone. And I'm like, the ambiance of the restaurant, they got chill music. They got that lo-fi, chill hop.
They hired a person to create this environment, and you just walked in
with your like drive-through order voice, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's acoustically, the speakerphone voice cuts through
everything.
And
it's weird because it's like you're disrespecting everyone that's here, like the space, the people that designed it, and everyone that's sitting in this room. Just so you know, you're disrespecting all of us, and you are for some reason okay with it.
And here's what's crazy about it. The only reason why they're doing it is because it was quiet in the first place.
Right. Somebody created the space, and you were like, what a perfect place to have an extremely loud conversation I don't need to have right now. Yeah.
Yeah, because if it was loud, you wouldn't
have done it here. You would have gone somewhere else.
Man, I tell you, if I was running I would ban speakerphone. And I'm so glad like airlines don't allow people to make phone calls or have. I was on a plane once, and the guy like 2 rows behind me had his notifications on.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep, beep. And it was 2 different. It was like a beeping and then a ding, ding. Yeah. So I'm going ape shit, bro. I'm like inside. I'm like, I'm about to fucking, and the flight attendant walks by, and I go, hey, can you make an announcement to ask everyone to cut the notifications instead of just targeting this one guy?
Yeah,
let's just say, hey, can we put, because
everyone on the same page.
I've heard everybody. Yeah. I've heard them do that before. Like, use your headphones. And she was like, we've never done that. And I was like, I've heard it done on planes before. And I was like, oh, can you go tell the guy 2 rows behind me to cut? And she was like, she looked at me like, why would I do that?
And so as soon as we have the conversation, she leaves, and then she comes back and she's pushing the cart to serve the drinks, and he gets like 3 notifications, and immediately she goes, "Is that you with the notification?" She's like, "Cut that off. I can hear the ping, ping, ping." She's like, "Why are you ping, ping, pinging?" And she got irate. So she went from completely not understanding why I would want it cut off, but so she had to hear it and experience it herself to be like, "Stop the ping, ping, pinging." And then the guy was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But she was looking at me like I was crazy.
Right. And then she heard it. And then she went harder than you did.
She went hard in the paint, bro. She went like Kevin Garnett, to the lane, I don't know. I'm not great with metaphors like that. But I have tinnitus in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't know what tinnitus is, or some people say tinnitus, I have a constant ringing in my ears, and I was born with it, but I didn't know I had it until college. So as a kid, I would hear this ringing, and
it literally sounds just like,
it's like
yeah.
It's
and the quieter it gets, the louder it gets.
So it basically is the sound where, like, if you're at a concert and you get that ring in your ears, I have that all the time. And caffeine makes it louder, and there are other, I think, stress. There's like a couple things that can just make it louder besides loud noise, right? And so as a kid, I remember like searching the whole house,
looking for the thing that's making that noise.
Yeah, I'm like, just going crazy. And it wasn't until college that I was like, oh, it's tinnitus.
It's me.
It's me. It's coming from.
I'm the problem.
It's literally in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all in your head. You're like, no, it's not. I'm telling you, it's out there. Yeah. And then I ran into this lady who had it, and she didn't know that she had it. And she had her husband she's like, no, it's in the attic. And then the husband's like in the attic. She's like, it's in the basement. And she's just like sending her.
Every room she went into, she's like, it's probably in here.
And then after she realized it was in her head, she was like, I'm so sorry.
It makes sense. So tell me about your podcast, because I was on it. Are you still recording?
I still have it. Yes, it's called Before You Kill Yourself. It's
right, which is a pretty extreme catching. Like that. I remember when you called me, you're like, "Hey, do you want to be on my podcast before you kill?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you implying? Like, what? Why me? What do you see in me that makes me think I should be here?"
People have asked me that, and what I've discovered is, pain is pain. And so whether you have the pain from a breakup, a divorce, from feeling humiliated, from being ostracized, from, just whatever.
What do you consider the most common pain that the average person is in? Is it loneliness? Is it misunderstanding? Is it not feeling heard?
I would say it's probably not feeling heard, or some perceived rejection.
That might not even be real.
It might not even be real. So sometimes, like, silence. Like, I just told my girlfriend the other day, like she'll ask me, like the other day she asked me something. She was like, why are you blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, here's why. And then she was like, And I was like, I need you to respond with more than that. Because the why feels like an accusation to me. It feels like a judgment.
Even if it's not.
But that's what it feels like. It. And then when you go, I'm like.
It makes me feel like I just unloaded all this vulnerability.
I gave it, and then you were like, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
That's it.
And so I was like, I need you to say. She was like, well, I'm not thinking anything. I go, there are thoughts. There's something behind the.
Right. You had a query.
Yeah.
I gave you information. Nothing.
Is there like, oh, I understand. At least it's to say like you understand, or that makes sense, or something.
Thank you for telling me I understand.
Absolutely.
That. Yeah.
And so it really took and so it really took a second to get out of her, like, what she was thinking. I was like, if you're gonna ask me why, then I need the validation of knowing that I've adequately,
expressed
myself, and that you understand. Like, that's very important to me. And so I think that what happens is, we were talking about loneliness earlier. Loneliness is, you ask me why, I become vulnerable, you give me a so then I stop sharing with you because I didn't like how that felt.
And let's face it, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time,
yes,
is when I just shut down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, and I would say this from previous relations, I've been in either that or even like the later weaponizing the vulnerability.
Yes.
It's like, well, then why would I ever share anything else with you ever?
Well, you know what? I used to be like that, and now I'm like, yeah, weaponize it. Bring it back to me. I can handle that. I used to be afraid of the weaponizing my vulnerability, but now I'm like, because the cost of me not being vulnerable is greater than your weaponizing my vulnerability against me. Because the way I look at it is, the more practiced I become at being vulnerable, the less your weaponization can affect me. My vulnerability is the antidote to your weaponization.
Well, that's not the natural response. The natural response is like, well, I guess I can't tell you anything ever again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to fight that.
And also, if somebody's that's the hard part there is also like, if your partner, if you're a person in your life is weaponizing your vulnerabilities, that person probably shouldn't be in your life.
Exactly.
Too.
And so I think that's the other part is, now I know who you are.
Yeah.
And then it allows me to make a decision as to whether or not this relationship is something I want to sustain.
Right.
Versus if I suppress and then you suppress, it can draw out something that should have been ended years ago.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to give you all of Leo flowers so that we are always aware of where we are in the relationship. If I hide and you hide, then
we're not even in a relationship.
We're not even in a relationship.
We're pretending.
We're pretending we don't know what the hell is going on.
We're putting on theater.
Yeah. And so that can go on forever.
Does that, see, I always felt like when I was younger, I was like the guy, like if I met a girl and we were on a date, she heard everything.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
yes.
Because I think that was partly like a defense mechanism for me to be like, here's all the reasons you shouldn't like me, because the truth, I don't like me either. So, you know, like I was dealing with a lot of insecurity and depression stuff and whatever. And so my inner voice was very negative and very hard on myself. And so I think that was part of it. I was just like, here's all the stuff and why I hate myself. So go ahead. Don't like me either.
I think that when I think about vulnerability is, it's the ability to share what's happening with yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your needs, and your wants, in a way that you're also taking ownership for what's happening. So if we share in a way where it's like self-deprecating, all that does is make the other person feel, they'll feel overwhelmed, and then they'll feel sorry for you, right?
Which is not attractive.
Right? And so you're kind of sabotaging something before it even gets started. And so
that sounds right.
And so I actually just did a post on this of, there's a difference between being self-deprecating and being able to laugh at yourself. Those are two very different things. When we are self-deprecating, we are putting ourselves down and we're focused on our flaws and our vulnerabilities and our perceived shortcomings. And it's also creating distance in the relationship and creating that person is like sympathizing or feeling sorry for you. And then they feel this need to like, no, it's okay. It's all right.
Right. Now they're responsible for your emotional well-being.
Exactly. And that's not fair to them. And it's not fair to you. Right. Where when we're able to laugh at ourselves, it's taking ownership for what we've done. And we're empowered by it without like putting ourselves down. So an example would be, if if I trip and fall, I could be like, God, I'm such a clumsy fuck up. Like, like I don't deserve, or I could be like, well, I guess I do need to take that yoga class. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So self-deprecation is more like, where like, being able to laugh at yourself is like, oops,
Yeah.
So it's like you want to be more oops than and so I noticed this in stand-up comedy where the comedians who are able to be more oops are the ones that typically are able to garner a bigger following. People want to see them again. We laugh at people go, but we don't want to see them again because you made me feel sorry for you. And
now I'm doing work.
Yeah, now I'm doing work. And that's not fair, right? And so it's the same thing. You see that when people vent, is that they vent in a way where they're dumping their emotional load on the other person with no insight or reflection of their responsibility. They're like, this person did this, that person did that, and then this happened. They're complete victim. Poor me. And at no point are they like, you know what, but here's what I'm going to do, and here's how I'm going to take ownership, and I did make this mistake. You know, like, so I give you a personal example. I have a sponsor. I have a sponsee in my 12-step group, right?
For sugar.
And I, in our session, I said something that I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And it was a bit off-putting. And then later on, they sent me a voice memo of like, hey, I was kind of feeling this in the session and yada, yada. And I go, you know what? I understand why you'd feel like that. In the future, if you feel like that, just let me know. And let me know if you need space or if we need to take a pause. I go, it wasn't fair to you to share that with you. And also, I admit I was a bit hard charging at that moment. That's, it's probably what happens when you play 4 hours of ping pong and all the adrenaline. I'd say it's probably what happens with all the adrenaline from ping pong. I probably shouldn't do that right before our sessions, that kind of thing. So it was like that. I took ownership for it. Yeah. I understood their perspective. And I added levity by saying, well, I probably shouldn't, have like 12 cups of coffee before our session. And then I wouldn't, and so that's what laughing at yourself can do. It can bridge you together versus if I had been like, yeah, I'm a shitty sponsor, oh man, you shouldn't. Yeah, you probably should go find somebody else. Like that.
Who's that benefit?
That benefits nobody. And then
why do we have a tendency to do that?
It also lets me off the hook.
That's why we have a tendency.
It lets me off the hook. I don't have to grow. I don't have to do anything.
I'm just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
As long as I'm just a piece of shit, I can keep being a piece of shit and I never have to change because I'm a piece of shit. What else would you expect from me?
Yeah. My mom said it. My dad said it,
Yeah. I've said it in here my whole life. Done. So, yeah, it's just easier being a piece.
Nobody wants to do the work.
You're changing my life right now.
Nobody wants to do the work.
The work's hard.
And so, like, in therapy, when people go, therapy doesn't work, is like, you're not doing the work.
I remember talking to my therapist one time. I had a great therapist when I was in college. I was suffering from depression and I was going to her. She was back in my hometown. So when I would go home for like the holidays, I would see her. But I remember the first time I went for an hour and then I was like, hey, I'm in town for 2 more weeks. How often can I come?
Yes.
And she was like, well, she's like, I got an opening on this day. And I ended up doing 4 more sessions with her in 2 weeks, but I did double sessions. So I was doing 2 hours. And she told me, I was after like the second one, she was like, just so you know, this is not normal. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't let anyone do 2 hours. She's like, but you won't shut the fuck up. Like that's the only reason this works is because you clearly want to talk and dive into this stuff. She was like, you'd be surprised how many clients I get that come here twice a week for an hour and they don't say a thing. And then a month later, they're like, why am I not better?
Yeah.
And she's like, you won't talk. Like, she's like, I will fire clients that like, cause you gotta want to be here and actually do the work.
Yes.
And I didn't get it. I just loved it. I'm sitting here like, this was the first person in my life as an 18-year-old kid that I can tell all, like, she was just, it was safe.
Yeah.
And I was like, and there was zero judgment. And I was this happened, and this happened. Or this happened and I felt weird about it. Or like, why is this going on in my family? Or like things that I can't bring up to my family. I can't bring up to my friends. I don't feel safe anywhere else.
And that's where the loneliness comes in.
Because you can't share.
Because if that word safe and supported, a lot of people don't have a person or place or space where they feel safe enough and supported enough to lay it all out there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's such a big thing. It's, in some cultures, if you share, they could weaponize it against you politically or socially. You might be ostracized. You might be kicked out of the tribe.
Yeah.
You might be killed. Like there are real consequences outside of being, sharing and being emotional and being vulnerable. People might break into your place. You might put other people in harm's way. So and so like I think a lot of people, when they come into therapy, they're so practiced at not sharing and so expecting of it being weaponized against them, used against them, that they think the therapist, if they share too much, is going to 5150 them. Have them arrested, send them to a psychiatric facility,
take their kids away.
Yeah, take their kids away. I mean, you think about the images that we grew up with. How old are you?
42.
So, a lot of the imagery of psychology and psychiatry is, that truck pulling up, two big guys in all white,
taking a crazy guy away.
Away. That image is embedded in most of the minds of, our generation and generations previous. And it's really not like that.
I think it's funny to me, and I remind myself of this, and especially when it comes to kids and like my daughter and parenting, is like psychology wasn't a thing until the 70s. Like real like therapy style psychology, the study of the brain, the study of consciousness is really what it is, and like that interaction with each other. That wasn't even on the radar until the 70s. And then it was like you had an analyst. It was very like medical corporate-y, weird, like, like you watch 80s movies and they don't talk about their therapist, they talk about their analyst. And they're going and they're laying on the couch. And all you hear is, well, how does that make you feel? Well, how does that make you feel? And I get why the average person is like, this shit's quacky. Like, what is going on? But then like when I went and I was like, oh, I just get to tell you everything. And you like, just tell me like, oh, well, maybe that's because of this and maybe this. And have you ever thought of that? And why, you will get to the, how does that make you feel? Because that's, again, how I feel, what I want, what I need. What was the other? There was like other ones that you mentioned.
Thoughts, feelings, wants, needs.
Yeah. And that's huge, having that person. And so it's funny to me, like even talking about parenting, I remember my daughter was doing something that was rather out of character, but she was like being a kid. She was pushing. Where's the walls? Where's the boundaries? Are the rules really the rules,
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, well, you should really da-da-da-da. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I disagree with you. I don't think that's the move.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I'm just saying, like, if you let that go, it's gonna. And I was like, how many child like parenting books did you read when you were raising us? And she's like, what are you talking about? I raised 3 kids. I know what I'm doing. I was like, yeah, have you seen us? Like you did what you could, but like you guys knew nothing. And the generation before you, your parents, the coming out of World War II, their parents raised them during the Depression. They were just told, like, you will be grateful for anything. Also, don't ever tell me how you feel or what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then my parents' generation, the boomer generation, is like my dad grew up in a house where you are seen and not heard. My dad never heard I love you from his father, ever. And that blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say my dad flipped the other direction, and like we knew we were loved. And I can look back now and see tons of dysfunction within our house and weird, mental health issues that probably weren't addressed or we didn't even know about at the time. But it's like now I'm like, we have so much more knowledge now that guess what? Your 4-year-old isn't being manipulative. They don't know enough to be manipulative.
You're giving them a lot of credit.
Yeah, this is not Machiavellian. Like they are just, where's the walls? Where is this? Where am I safe?
Yeah.
So I'm going like,
because
there's a rule.
They physically explore and they're mentally exploring they're exploring in every which way.
Every way. Because that's all and I mean, it sounds weird, but like the truth is most kids need structure and consistency. That's it. You give a kid that and love, you're going to have a great kid on your hands.
Great kid.
Because the problem is, and I see this with friends and I see this, with people I know with kids where it's like, well, this is the rule. here's the rule. The rule's right here. That's the rule. But 15 minutes from now, that rule's moved. And then tomorrow, the rule's not even here.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's because the parents are exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Again, it's hard to do the work. Nobody wants to do it. Well, with the kid, the work is you have to be consistent.
And what I've learned is the rule or the boundary doesn't have to be a big one. It could be a tiny one. But what's important is that you set it to something that's enforceable and sustainable.
Yeah.
So a kid, like for example, like the timeout does work, right? Timeouts do work.
Works for us too.
Yeah.
Take one.
Take one. Exactly. But you don't have to put a kid in timeout for like an hour. You can put a kid in timeout for 30 seconds. What's important is that you're messaging to the kid that what they did was unacceptable.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what the punishment is, as long as the kid perceives it as a punishment or as some type of a disciplinary action, right? So like there's this idea of like if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And so that's why like some parents hit their kids. They use that
Were
to
you
justify.
hit as a kid?
Oh my God.
I
My
was
mom's from
beat too.
Belize. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
The
Belts,
extension
ping pong
cord,
paddles. Yep.
Everything.
Yeah.
I was wearing like a turtleneck sweater in the summer. You know what I mean? Because I had to hide the scars on my arms. But there's a difference between punishing your kid, which is the belt and the slippers and stuff,
Which is fear-based.
Yes, and teaching your kids to be responsible for their actions.
Yeah.
That's a completely different set of skills. So like if your kid breaks something in a house, you could beat that kid, which is punishing the kid, but the kid doesn't learn anything from that.
Right.
The kid only learns violence, right?
Yeah. If I do something, which also means I can't tell the truth because if I could have lied and not gotten beat, I would have done that.
Right.
If nobody saw me break the thing, I just would have acted like I didn't know. So now I can, okay, so if I lie to these people, I can't share everything with them because if I do, I might get punished.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you figure out how to hold the kid responsible, whether you make them clean it up, you make them glue it back together, you make them work to buy another plate, like teaching a kid responsibility, that requires more effort.
Way more.
It's easy just to backhand the kid.
Yeah.
It's
because you feel like I addressed it.
Yeah, boom, done. The kid knows not to do it, whatever. But it takes much more effort and energy to teach your kid responsibility. And some parents just really don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
They're working 2 jobs. They have 2 kids.
They're tired. They're stressed.
The house is in disrepair. There's medical stuff involved. So I completely understand. But I think we don't have enough conversation about punishment versus holding one responsible for their actions.
Yeah. Punishment is different than consequences.
Yes.
And that's something like I try not to punish my daughter, but I try to be like, hey, like the amount of times I ask my daughter, what did we learn from that?
Yes.
Whether it was her literally, she was playing on monkey bars and fell, to me having to say something 5 times and then saying like, hey, that thing that you wanted to do, we don't have time to do it because you didn't do that. And then she kind of, I wanted to do that. And you said we could. I did. I said we could. If you did this, this, and this. Did you do those? No. So now we don't get to do this. That's what's happening. Your behavior has a consequence.
Yes.
And then when it kind of cools down, a few minutes later, you go, what'd we learn?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty impressed with most of the time. She can be like, I need to listen. And if I'm going to, I have to do the things I need to do. Like the amount of times I say to her, we need to do the things that need to be done before we can do the things we want to do.
Mm.
And it kind of works. And she's not perfect, and I'm not perfect. Like the amount of times I sit around going like,
the thing I love about what you're doing, you highlighted a very key aspect is you wait till things cool down to have an objective conversation.
A debrief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you can't have it when emotions are high. They're not in there.
For you or them. You can't be in that state.
Right. And I think that a lot of times people are trying to have logical conversations when they're in an emotional state, and you can't have
the brain's not functioning.
It's not functioning. So you need time. That's why they have like cool down periods when you go buy something.
They have like a 3-day cool down. Like if you buy a car, they go 3-day cooling down period if you need to return it, because you could be in this emotional heightened state of excitement to buy the car, and then like I bought, I was on a cruise ship recently, and it was like 3 nights in a row where I was just sleeping intermittently because of all the travel and everything. So I'm up at like 3:00 in the morning, and I just decide to buy 5 boxes of headlamps. For no, that just
like a little camping headlamp.
Little camping headlamps.
Great tool, by the way.
And then I woke up in the morning. I was like, "Why did I buy 5? Was not in my right." And they got shipped home. And my girlfriend was like, "Why are there 5 boxes of headlamps?" I was like, "It's what you do when you're awake at 3 o'clock."
It seemed totally reasonable at the time.
Oh, it was so. I was like, "I'm gonna start selling these after shows." Like I had a whole.
It turned into merch.
But I was not. That's not a 2 p.m. decision. I would not have made that.
No,
at 2 p.m.
3 a.m.
But 3 a.m. That's when I need help. That's when I need a therapist. I don't need one at.
Do you feel that everyone should have a therapist?
I think that there are moments where people definitely need someone to talk to give them an objective perspective on what they're going through. And it doesn't have to be a therapist. You can talk to a bartender, you could talk to a 5-year-old.
But it has to be somebody that's not in your circle.
Somebody who has no skin in the game for you. Somebody who doesn't have an agenda for you to perform this way or that way.
Yeah.
If you talk to your mom has hey, should I marry her? Do you like her? Your mom has an agenda.
Oh, yeah.
She wants grandkids, or she likes her.
She wants what's best for you, but it's also what she thinks is best for you.
If you talk to your best friends, that they might say no because they're about to get a divorce and they want their buddy to, like people, and that's so. It's not.
I'm not blaming those people either.
No,
because they're just trying to function in the world.
Yes, and so like you just want somebody objective. And I think that's what's key. Somebody who is objective and who can kind of give you another perspective on what's happening. And I think also the thing is, therapy is not meant for the rest of your life. People think that once you go to therapy, you have to stay in therapy. No, most people just need therapy for like maybe 3 to 12 sessions, anywhere between there. And then after that, you're just doing spot checks.
Yeah, it's like a tune-up for your car. Your car needs an oil change. It's running fine.
Absolutely.
It needs a tune-up.
Every now and again. So I always say, find a therapist when you're good. Don't wait till you're standing on a bridge ready to jump and then be like, maybe I should, like that. Yeah. It's too late. Like find one when you're...
First of all, wait. It's not too late.
I'm saying...
still, if you're on the bridge, get off the bridge and find a therapist.
No. What I'm saying is it's not too late to get help and turn around. I'm saying it's too late in terms of... First, you got to get if you're on a bridge, to get a therapist on the phone, to have your insurance clear the therapist, to make sure that they even are going to pick up the phone. Like like there's like 12 steps for you to talk to the therapist. Like it's like,
too many hoops to jump through when you can just jump off the bridge. Yeah. One jump versus all these hoops.
So. But it's not too late to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a stranger can. I don't know if you saw that video where I want to say, is Bono still alive?
Was it where some celebrity talked a guy off a bridge?
Yeah, Sting
something like
or
that.
Bono or something walked by,
and somebody was about to jump and they literally just stopped and talked to him, and brought him back.
And that's all we want. We just want somebody to talk. We just need a width. We just need somebody who's going to sit side to side with us. And not do the thing where after I share what's going on with me, then you go, well, let me tell you about my day.
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
which I hate that. I feel like I do that even on this podcast. You're like, oh, I have a thing about that too. And I'm like, fuck. But just to listen and hear it and sit in it.
And so I think one of the key things to wrap up here, because we're at the 90-minute mark.
Yeah.
One of the key things is to practice in our daily life listening skills, communication skills, connecting skills. For instance, one of the listening skills that I practice on occasion is to say, "Hey, tell me more about X, Y, and Z." It's such the phrase "tell me more" is an invitation to go deeper, and also a cue to let you know that I'm listening to what I'm hearing what you said, and I'm curious about what you're saying. And this is a space for us to go deeper. We don't have to keep it shallow. We can go deep here.
Yeah.
So tell me more is a key thing, and another key thing in terms of communication is to practice, like, not only sharing one point of view, but to practice sharing both sides of how you feel, right? So to be like, this, my day sucked and this, but also, like, it was cool this person, let me in, and and that's very challenging. We live in such a well, I don't want to say we live in, but the news and media tries to paint things very black and white, right? We're like, why do I have to be anti or pro anything? Why can't I say, here are my thoughts and my feelings about guns, right? I understand that if you live in Australia, having a gun probably doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't have Canada above you and Central and South America below you, and you weren't founded on war. America was built on war.
And the original war was against the government.
Yeah. That was the first war.
And so they fought against a government, and we're like, hey, even though we're making a government, have you seen what these governments start to do?
And then we fought the Indians, and then we went to war with ourselves, and like we're built we're built on guns. And then then there's also the practical aspect of a lot of America is still very rural. So you have hunting. So it becomes a tool for feeding my family. If I kill a moose, I could feed my family for 6 months with that one moose. For protection against a bear, whatever, what have you. And so you can't compare cultures. You can't be like, well, Australia did this, so America is like, no.
Apples and oranges.
It's complete apples and oranges. We can't.
I also think you have a lot of people that are in the, the coasts are more liberal. The bigger cities are liberal because they're like, what do you need a gun for? I'm like, I know people in Wisconsin that mow their lawn with a gun on their hip.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's literally wolves and bears, and the mower's loud. And if a bear, if you even with the gun, you don't have a great chance.
Yes.
And it's the chances of it happening very low.
Yes.
Still real.
Yeah.
Still totally real that in a lot of parts of Ohio, Wisconsin, like the middle air, whatever, like that shit's real.
Hell, you go an hour outside of California, it gets like, whoa.
Oh, shit,
Is this La La Land?
Yeah. You're in the desert. Like, we're in the desert. Like, you get away from the lights and you're like, oh, this is wild country.
Yeah. The accent is real different.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So
this was awesome, bro.
This was so fun. I appreciate that you came on, and thanks for sharing everything. Before you kill yourself, where can people find it?
Everywhere. Spotify, iTunes. I also started a Substack.
I don't even know what that is.
A Substack is like a blog, basically.
Oh, okay.
So if you just go to, I think it's leoflowers.substack.com or something. I don't know. Just type in Leo Flowers Substack and it'll pop up. But I put one out every week, and I just articles, just stuff that I've written about, just thinking about for that week, just a little insights and tidbits about life.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Leo.
Thank you.
This is great.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We did 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.